Tonight, it's the Steelers' final preseason game, and jobs are on the line. Some Steelers will move up the depth chart, some will not. So stay with KDKA for the final Steelers preseason game of 2018, presented by Xfinity. And a very pleasant good evening, everyone. We welcome you to Heinz Field, the site of tonight's final preseason game. Carolina Panthers 3-0 against the Steelers at 2-1. And there is plenty to play for a lot of people trying to make their case tonight. Welcome to our broadcast. Bob Pompiani with longtime Steeler quarterback Charlie Batch. And Charlie, we know that Ben Roethlisberger will not play. He is the starter. He'll be there against Cleveland, hopefully all season long. But what about not play? He is the starter. He'll be there against Cleveland, hopefully all season long. But what about Joshua Dobbs? He gets the start tonight. What's on the line for him?
Man, I understand exactly what Dobbs is going through. I've been in this game, playing for my roster spot 3 times. Joshua Dobbs, he has to go out here, put on a strong performance, and change the conversation tomorrow between Mike Tomlin and Kevin Colbert. If he can do that, man, this will be a storybook story.
Landry Jones has the experience. Dobbs has the bigger upside, so that will be intriguing if he does well here tonight. In the meantime, there's a new man in town, Ryan Switzer, who came here from Oakland. Missy Matthews has more on him from Steelers.com. Missy?
Hey guys, well, he knows Heinz Field certainly well. He grew up in West Virginia. He's been here as a Steelers fan. He also played for UNC in the ACC. So Pitt fans are probably thinking, oh no, not that guy. He's done some damage here at Heinz Field. He has been traded twice in just 6 months, like I said, but took the red eye. He is a return specialist his entire life. Coach Tomlin said for him tonight, it's like riding a bike. We also might get a chance to see him on offense if the circumstance presents itself. The Steelers do have a package for him. Back upstairs to you guys.
All right, Missy, thanks. And he had success here at Heinz Field a couple of years ago. He also had a punt return against Pitt, so people here at Heinz Field know him well. Will he be that successful for the Steelers? Well, they can only hope so. Kickoff is coming up next. It's the Panthers and the Steelers from Pittsburgh. Steelers preseason football presented by Xfinity. Change the way you experience TV with Xfinity X1. By Pepsi, the official soft drink of the Pittsburgh Steelers. And by the Pennsylvania Lottery. Play the Steelers fast play game from the Pennsylvania Lottery. Players must be 18 or older. Please play responsibly. All right, welcome back, everyone. Ron Rivera, who as a player was drafted 2nd round with the Bears, was part of the Super Bowl Shuffle, Super Bowl champion of 1985. He's also a 2-time AP NFL Coach of the Year with Carolina. And, of course, Mike Tomlin, now in his 12th year, looking to try to get back to the Super Bowl. He is the man who is going to lead them to that area right now. Tomlin and his coaching staff together now. They know each other well. Looking forward to some big things. Speaking of big things, this guy, Ryan Switzer, right off the bat, he just got here, and he's going to be given every opportunity on special teams, which, Charlie, has been something of a sticking point for the Steelers. They really haven't gotten many kind of good returns over the last several years, short of, Juju Smith-Schuster when he's in there, and they don't want to play regulars.
And this was something they talked about this year, especially with the rule changes. A lot of pop-up. They want to see field position and see if they were able to now benefit off of that. They didn't like what they saw. They went out and made the move this week with Switzer. So let's see if he can now bring that energy that this team is looking for.
Graham Gano kicking it off. Pro Bowler from last year. Signed a new deal also like Boswell, 4 years, $19 million, $1 million less than Boswell. Here's Switzer, first opportunity, and he doesn't get to the 25, out of about 21-yard line. That's a 21-yard return, and the Steelers will go to offense with Joshua Dobbs coming onto the field. We have right off the bat an injury, and this is something you don't want to see, especially now. That is Elijah Hood who's down. Yeah, Bailey also looks like he hurt his hand. Charlie, they talk about safety issues on kickoff returns, and the statistics prove that out, that there are a lot of them.
Yeah, it's tough here. It didn't look like there was much contact there to the right-hand side as he grabs his knee immediately. Happened really quick on the right-hand side when we showed the replay. It's definitely not a sign you want to see starting out this ball game. This is a game when you're in the fourth quarter, or fourth preseason game, you want to go out here. Yes, you want to compete, but at the same time minimize injuries throughout the course of this game.
A lot of the regulars on the Carolina, and he looks like he's definitely got something there with a leg. He's going to be helped off. Joshua Dobbs on the field, and this is his opportunity to start. The ones aren't in there, but he'll get an opportunity to show what he can do. And he may not even be doing it for Pittsburgh. He may be doing it for another team. There have been trades already, Charlie, in the NFL with a couple of quarterbacks, Brent Huntley, Teddy Bridgewater, and certainly to try to fit whatever you're looking for, you may have to make a trade at one point, especially since the Steelers are not going to carry 4. Big opportunity for number 5. And right off the bat, he's going to pass the football. And he's going for the home run ball. Justin Hunter is down there, makes the reception, but out of bounds. Or did he make the reception? It looked like he had it and then got away from him at the last second.
Just left it a little too far outside. You can see throwing the ball on rhythm. Just give Justin Hunter a bigger window there on the sideline. This is a 6'5" receiver.
Pretty good coverage too there by Lorenzo Doss, who's in that backfield for Carolina. They are known for their big presence up front, and they have some great players there. Not in action here tonight. And there's a little swing pass. And this one's going to go to Pharaoh McKeever, not for much yardage, only 4. And now let's check out the Ford lineups, brought to you by your neighborhood Ford store. Again, this is how they should line up in Cleveland on September the 9th. The game you'll see here on KDKA. Roethlisberger with Brown and Smith-Schuster. Villanueva, Ramon Foster making nice progress after his injury. Pouncey, DeCastro, Gilbert. Vance McDonald, although he is still out with injury. Le'Veon Bell and Roosevelt Nix. And they've been banged up in that tight end position. It will be interesting to see who actually is available on September the 9th. And there's a snap that gets away from Dobbs. He's under pressure, but he keeps the play alive. Josh Dobbs now running to the sideline and turning a negative into first down play. And that's the one thing he can do. A gain of 9 yards after the snap went right through his hands.
Just took his eyes right off the snap there, but like you mentioned, he can make plays with his feet. It's a nice snap there. He's just trying to make a play right here. He's had McKeever actually down the field, but he knows what he needs to pick up for the first down, and he's able to do that.
Joshua Dobbs out of Tennessee, a 4th-round pick in 2017. Had 53 touchdowns at Tennessee, but also 27 interceptions, and that's been a bugaboo last preseason and this. Although when he's on, he seems very capable of handling this offense, at least to the point where he can make a roster. Whether it be here or someplace else, we don't know. That's only a short gain, if any, for Jalen Samuels. All right, let's talk about Dobbs and Rudolph, who we expect to see a little later in this game, Charlie. Coming into this game are the preseason numbers.
No Mason Rudolph, he's going to make this football team, but Joshua Dobbs here, 21-31. He's had a solid preseason using his legs. He had a really good week of practice, knowing that he was going to start this ball game, so he really wants to go out here and put the team, he don't know how many opportunities, but at least put this team in the end zone.
All right, Dobbs getting away from some original pressure, now throwing down the middle, and he has his man, although it's in and out of the hands of Trey Griffey. Griffey, the son of Ken Griffey Jr. there. And that was pressure by Brian Cox Jr. You might remember Brian Cox, his dad, who was in the league for 12 years.
Nice job of making Cox miss there. Just down the field. If he can get just a little bit more on this ball to allow Griffey to come back. Just a little short. But this is one thing Dobbs continues to do. He's able to use his legs, something that doesn't really show up on the stats because everyone looks at what he's doing in the passing game, but he's able to convert first downs using his legs.
Again, shotgun snap. Here comes pressure. Picked up by the offensive line. It's enough time for Justin Hunter to make the completion and first down yardage there on a 3rd and 10. That's good for 18 yards, and they move the chains again. Solid
protection here by the offensive line. Dobbs looking to the right, scans back to the left-hand side of the field. You see Justin Hunter right there. I really like what he's doing in the pocket. Hunter just picking up where he left off last year. This is something that Hunter was going out here. Big touchdown pass last week, but also gave up an interception. Really felt bad last week ending that game as he finished that series. But now here he is having another opportunity.
Zach Moore came in and took Dobbs to the ground, but not before he got that off and converted on a 3rd and 10. And by the way, Zach Banner, number 69, provided that protection at right tackle. Dobbs this time has Hunter again, and he is down fairly quickly there by Ladarius Gunter, a gain of 8 yards. Let's take a look at the Carolina defense. Again, we'll see this during the regular season. This is a great front four. Addison, Short, Dontari Poe, and Julius Pepper still hanging around, and he had a big year last year despite his age. Zach Thompson, along with Luke Kuechly, I think the most indispensable member of this team. Thomas Davis, who is going to be suspended for 4 games. Bradbury, Seymour, Searcy, and Mike Adams, the veteran in that secondary. But Thomas Davis, he seems like he keeps going. He had 3 ACLs, Charlie, and he's still here. He said this might be his last year. Now he's going to rethink that since he has the suspension. Here's pressure. Dobbs hit in the pocket, has a man. And that is Bucky Hodges, a tight end, diving for the end zone. Does he get there? Bucky Hodges for 36 yards. He's getting opportunities because of the injuries to the tight ends.
Little misdirection here. Dobbs does a nice job understanding where he's going with the ball, able to find Bucky Hodges down the left sideline. This is a former quarterback, converted receiver, down tight end position. He feels he has an opportunity to make this team, especially when you have injuries at your number 1 and number 3 spot at your tight end. And I'm talking about Xavier Grimble as your number 3 tight end.
Well, you never know how this is going to play out with the injuries and the severity of them, but Bucky Hodges is saying, hey, I'm here, and I can get down the field, as he just saw. Handoff, and it's going to go to Samuels, and he doesn't get much there. That's a game of 1. David Mayo at linebacker in there.
And this is what you want to see from your young guys here. You're entering the red zone, you want to be able to score, punch that. You want to put 7 points on the board, punch it into the end zone, something that reluctantly throughout the preseason, your young guys have been able to make field goals but not touchdowns. There's a huge opportunity for Dobbs as he now has his 2nd opportunity here in the red zone.
Farrell McKeever, another tight end, number 87 in the game. 3 wides to the left of Dobbs. Again, it's the fake handoff to Samuels. Dobbs makes a move, dives in and gets into the end zone. That's a touchdown of 3 yards, showing you what he can do. He got away from Jermaine Carter Jr., and he turns that into a touchdown. Joshua Dobbs, first drive, results in 6.
That's a guy who wants to make this football team. A read option play here. Now he understands 3 guys out there. He's just willing himself into the end zone. That's a guy who wants to make this football team.
And that's an element that really no other quarterback can give you on the Steelers roster. And, you know, the question will be, is he capable of being a backup in meaningful games, especially if it's more than just 1 game? Roethlisberger's been fairly healthy the last couple of years, and that would be hopefully the case again this year.
He has been, and that's something that you just don't know. And, of course, that conversation tomorrow will be interesting, especially the way that Dobbs is starting out this football game.
Boswell puts it up and through, and first drive, Dobbs getting congratulatory handshakes, and why not? Really good. Turn some negatives into positive. And they go the distance. 7-0 Steelers. Mondays this fall, say aloha to Magnum PI. His name is legend, but the adventures are just beginning. Magnum PI, new Mondays this fall on KDKA TV. 10 plays, 79 yards, 504. Culminated with a 3-yard run by Josh Dobbs, who really impressed Randy Fichtner on that. 3rd and 10 conversion put there to Justin Hunter, and on the drive he was 4 of 6 for 66 yards. And Demir Bird is going to take this kick by Boswell. Spins away from coverage, but he won't get away from the second line of pursuit there. And the Steelers, with Malik Golden leading the way, that's a return of 21 for Demir Bird.
And in this ball game here, Bob, you will have every returner returning, whether they're coming out of the end zone, or probably won't see many fair catches today because people understand that there are not many opportunities here to make this football team.
So their starting quarterback tonight is actually a 3rd stringer, Taylor Heinicke, and he actually made his debut last year against the Steelers when he was replacing TJ Yates in Houston, if you remember. Cameron Artis Payne, he's been here for a few years in the backfield. Heinicke rolling, throwing, and incomplete, as he was intended for Ian Thomas on offense at tight end. Now let's take a look at the forward lineups for Cam Newton's team. He'll be a quarterback again, outstanding quarterback. The Steelers will play this team here later in the year on a Thursday night. Torrey Smith, Devin Funchess at wide receiver. 2 Khalils, and they will sandwich Silatolu along with Turner and Williams on their offensive line. And then Greg Olsen, tight end, been around for a long time with Christian McCaffrey as the running back. And he had a really nice first season as Cameron Artis-Payne takes that, a gain of 7 yards. But when you look at Christian McCaffrey, he was an 8th overall pick last year and 80 catches. He's one of those guys who can do a lot, just like Le'Veon Bell in the pass game. There's the Steeler defense we'll see in Cleveland. You know about their front three: Dupree, Bostic, Williams, and Watt. At linebacker, Hayden Davis, Burnett in that secondary. And they're expecting this defensive line to be, when it's healthy, one of the best once again in the NFL. Heineke gets away from pressure, uses his legs, and he gets first down yardage there before Tyler Matakevich wraps him up, a gain of 6, and they move the chains.
That's a play right there in space Matakevich has to make here. Stepping up in the pocket, nice coverage down the field. Just not able to make the tackle short of the first down.
New receivers in the game: Curtis Samuel, number 40 is Alex Armah. He's normally their fullback. They line him up at various positions. Heineke now looking over the middle and has Cameron Artis-Payne. He gets about 9 yards before he's racked up there. And it's Tyson Alualu along with Javon Hargrave.
Trying to get pressure up the field. You can see Norv Turner, new offensive coordinator for the Carolina Panthers. He's looking to throw the ball vertically down the field. And of course, when you do that, that softens up the underneath coverage, and your back is just sitting there one-on-one with the running back. And that's something you'll see a lot out of this Carolina Panthers offense.
Ian Thomas back into the game along with DJ Moore and Curtis Samuel. Moore, number 12, is their first-round pick in 2018, and they expect nice production from him. Here's Payne getting to the outside, cutting back inside, and he gets more first-down yardage before Jordan Dangerfield comes up from his safety position, a gain of 13 yards against the Steeler defense.
And this is something that the Carolina Panthers are looking to do. They were trying to run the football more. They need more out of the running back position. Last year, the leading rusher for this football team was Cam Newton. He had 754 yards rushing. That's something that they don't want to have happen, your quarterback leading the team in rushing. So that's where you want to see more production out of the running back position.
But Cam Newton said it's a curse to run, but it's also an advantage, and he's used it to his advantage. Part of his game, but you're right. I think Norv Turner, his whole spiel coming in here as offensive coordinators after 32 years in the NFL is that he wants him to get rid of the ball quickly, not unlike what we saw when Todd Haley came to Pittsburgh with Ben Roethlisberger. And, you know, thing is about Cam Newton, when he runs and carries the ball 8 times a game, they win 77% of their games. So his legs are an advantage, but it comes with it the chance that he could get injured. You don't want to see that.
He has the size of Ben Roethlisberger. He's 6'5", 245. But they want to try to minimize his hits as well.
He got hit in the last game pretty badly. And there's a nice batted pass by Cody Sensabaugh. Comes in on a blitz, knocks it down. Sensabaugh has had a good training camp, and I would expect he has this roster made.
He does, and this is the guy. Sensabaugh, he's a 7-year guy at Clemson. Understands there's a screen. He can't get to the quarterback. Just get your hands up and bat the football down.
Ron Rivera actually has a whole new coaching staff from a coordinator point of view. Eric Washington is their new defensive coordinator. There's Cam Newton. He'll be back here in Pittsburgh as the Steelers play those teams from that division this year, and they get some good quarterbacks along the way. Heineke now pressured by Levon Hooks, who was held on the play, and it goes incomplete with coverage there by Cam Sutton. Looks like Hooks was trying to get his hooks into his quarterback, but he had somebody grab his jersey. Nothing was called there. Nonetheless, it is a 4th down, and the Steelers will get the ball back.
Nice protection by the offensive line by the Carolina Panthers. Allows time here, but Sutton is doing a nice job on the backside of protecting. And Cam Sutton, he's had a phenomenal training camp. He wants to be part of that rotation. The coaches feel very comfortable with where he's at right now. No telling where Mike Hilton is at with his recovery process with his hamstring. If he's not ready to go, Cam Sutton is ready.
Left-footed booter, Michael Pilardi on. Ryan Switzer calls for a fair catch, and he makes it at the 13-yard line, and that's where the Steelers will go to work. A 32-yard punt with no return, and we'll take a timeout with the Steelers. Scoring on their first possession, Josh Dobbs with a 3-yard score. Nice long drive. Steelers lead by 7. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, don't miss your chance to see the 2018 Hall of Honor induction ceremony. It takes place on Friday, September the 28th at Heinz Field. Be there as the Steelers formally induct Rocky Bleier, Alan Faneca, Art Rooney Jr., Bill Nunn, Buddy Dial. Visit Steelers.com for more. 5 going in. They had a big class last year, and quite frankly, with the Steelers, it's hard to come up with a point where you stop, Charlie. They have so many guys who are deserving of being in there. Eventually, they will. But year to year, this is a good class. Dobbs will throw the ball, looking down the field for Justin Hunter, who makes the reception and holds on. That was up for grabs to some degree, but Hunter used his height and his hands to pull in a 46-yard reception.
That's it, trusting the height of Justin Hunter here. Has single high safety, which you typically wouldn't throw, but he's able to get the ball up high enough, and Hunter was able to come down with it. And this is the second opportunity, or second time in the preseason where Dobbs has thrown the deep post down the field, allowing his playmakers to make a play.
Joshua Dobbs now 5 for 7, 112 yards, and a touchdown run of 3 yards as he tries to make his pitch to be on this roster, or very least be on someone else's roster. And you know, Carolina's a team that could use some extra quarterbacks, and they're getting a first-hand view of this guy. Who knows how it's going to work out? And now we got a flip to Damone Patterson on the reverse. Patterson using his speed to the outside, gets inside the 30 to the 27-yard line. That's good for 13 yards. As Patterson had a very nice camp, but Switzer's arrival makes it tough for him.
Come here, you can see 35 coming off the edge. Dobbs does a nice job of peeling back, allowing Patterson to get to the outside. Randy Fichtner, this is the guy really people are concerned. Can he call the play? What is he going to look like when he's calling the play? But remember, last year in the final preseason game, Randy Fichtner, he was the one calling those plays, so he does have some experience there, but now he needs to do that consistently with Ben Roethlisberger, so they're both excited to work with one another this season.
Another big game for the Steelers now. Dobbs in the shotgun. Here comes a late blitz. Dobbs tucks it away, looks downfield, has a man in the end zone, and that's going to go for a touchdown to Teven Jones. 27 yards, and just like that, Dobbs does it again. Teven Jones wide open. Dobbs put it there, but again, he used his feet to set up the play.
That's it, working his eyes, moving in the pocket. Samuels, as we come to this replay, the nice job of picking up the blitzer from the left-hand side. You'll see Samuel, 38, coming across, picking up the protection. Dobbs knows where it's at, doesn't want to run, but Jones is sitting wide open in the corner of the end zone right there, and they're both celebrating. What a play by Dobbs.
Good recognition there, Charlie, as you said, by Samuels to pick up the late blitzer. And Teven Jones out of Memphis.
Injury timeout.
Really no shot to make this team. But again, some of these guys are playing with the idea that someone else is going to pick them up. 3 plays, 86 yards, only took a minute 35, 27-yard touchdown pass to Jones.
2 big plays, big play by Hunter, finishing off with Jones. And right now you can see Dobbs playing with a lot more confidence. We're only 5 minutes and 10 seconds left in this first quarter, but this Dobbs has got off to a fantastic start.
So now it's Boswell coming on in. Dobbs is, he's a confident man. This week in the locker room, he was asked, have you done enough, you think, to make this roster? He said yes, but it's not in his control. And I think that's one of the great things about him. He understands. You just do what you do. You can't control certain things. Don't worry about it.
Just block the noise out. You just focus on what you can control, and that's him out here starting and putting his team in the end zone.
That was a quick touchdown drive. And it's good to get touchdowns and not settle for field goals. It only took a minute 35 to go 86 yards. Jones gets his first touchdown of the preseason. The Steelers lead by 14. Welcome back, everyone. Coming this fall, don't miss Cedric the Entertainer and Max Greenfield in the new CBS comedy, The Neighborhood, premiering Monday this fall, KDK TV. Bob Pompiani, Charlie Batch, Missy Matthews back here at Heinz Field. 14-0. If you just joined us, you missed 2 really nice drives engineered by Josh Dobbs, who has been terrific. 6 of 8, 139 yards, 5 straight completions now, and he hit Teven Jones with a 27-yarder for the last score after he ran for the first touchdown. Demir Bird going nowhere on special teams. The Steelers stop it right there at the 19-yard line. They have a lot of good special teamers on here. A gain of 22 as he was 3 yards deep in that end zone.
And you mentioned Dobbs on his passing stat, but he also has 2 carries, 13 yards, and another touchdown in 2 drives.
See, I look at his upside. I always have, Charlie. I've told you this throughout the preseason, and I see a lot there that I like. And I think it's a tough decision. I realize what Landry Jones offers, and it's experience. And if you need him for 1 or 2 games, he gives you probably the better opportunity. But Josh Dobbs is a confident kid, and I like that part of his game. Heineke now throwing. Far side of the field, has his man. Did he have reception? Yes, he did. That's Curtis Samuel. 14 yards.
One-on-one here. Just a little bit too much of a cushion here by Sutton. Not able to get his hip flipped back around. That's a nice pitch and catch by the Panthers.
If you look at their quarterbacks, as I said, you have the number one backup to Cam Newton is Garrett Gilbert. He was a 6th-round pick 4 years ago, but he's with 5 NFL teams now. He's been sort of a journeyman, and so is Heineke with various teams. So people are always looking for quarterbacks. A deflected ball, and it goes incomplete. The catch was made, but he was out of bounds, and that was Bird, who was the receiver, or at least attempted receiver on this play.
Nice job by Sutton to get his hand in here to break up the play. But you just mentioned backup quarterback. I mean, the experience there. You have for 3 years. 2 years, you know, so they're young outside of Cam Newton, but you're also banking on the fact that your starter doesn't get hurt. So it's going to be interesting to see if the Panthers keep 2 quarterbacks, keep 3 quarterbacks in the Norv Turner system.
Norv Turner is the offensive coordinator. His son is the quarterback coach here. Heineke throws it up high. Cameron Artis-Payne makes the reception, bounces off of Cody Sensabaugh, or was that Cam Sutton over there? But it is a loss of 2 yards. Steelers swarming to the football.
Swarming to the football. You see the little blooper up here. Sutton's not able to bring the ball down initially, but look who's cleaning it up. Bostic. This is the guy they brought in here to replace Ryan Shazier. He's battling Tyler Matakevich. Bostic, 97 tackles in Indianapolis last year, so they know what he's capable of bringing to the table, but there looks like it's still a competition out here between Matakevich and Bostic.
I think Bostic at this point has the upper hand, but he had his best season last year with the Colts in terms of tackles. They're looking for that to continue. Pass is a good one, and it's first down yardage. Demir Bird makes it from Heineke. That's a gain of 14 yards, and Carolina now will get a new set of downs.
Just playing the sticks here, working the out route in front of Brian Allen right there. Brian Allen, this is the guy who's in the rotation. Remember, a 5th-year guy out of Utah last year. This is a 6'3" corner. Very tough to throw over top of him. He battled injuries early last year, but was able to rebound late as the season went on. But here he is now with an opportunity. He feels like he deserved a spot in that rotation.
Here's a read option this time by Heineke. He tries to get to the outside, and he gets a little yardage there before Brian Allen comes up and makes that play. A gain of 3. Nicky's out of Old Dominion, and he went undrafted when he came into the league. 2017, made his debut against the Steelers, as I said. Injury to TJ Yates in that game. He played for Houston back then, but claimed here by Carolina. Again, they're looking for depth, as most teams are when it comes to quarterbacks. Steelers actually have a luxury position here. When you look at, they have 4 guys, really.
4 guys, and they'll be fielding a lot of calls, and it'll be interesting to see what Kevin Colbert, Mike Tomlin, and Art Rooney does with the position, but they like where they're at.
Handoff again. Artis-Payne cuts back against the grain, gets into the second level. Jordan Dangerfield wraps him up by his feet. Not until he gets to the 40-yard line. That's a gain of 13 for Cameron Artis-Payne.
Like a little miscommunication here. Yeah, Matakevich blitzing from the right side. Bostic is trying to fill the hole, just not able to see around the defenders right here, and that was a huge game by Carolina.
How do you look at Dangerfield? He always seems to make plays in the preseason. He's hung around, but will he make the roster this year because it's a little deeper?
He has, and this is a guy who's out of Townsend, and he understands his role. He does very good on his special teams, but is that enough to make this year's team, knowing that you brought 2 other safeties in here to battle?
All right, play action. Sideline pass is to Demir Bird. He makes it in front of Cam Sutton. That's a gain of 7 yards. Demir Bird out of South Carolina, also another kid undrafted, trying to keep it alive. He was undrafted 2 years ago, and he's just looking for opportunities as they go.
That's all you can do right here. I mean, they're high-low out here. Of course, you're going to see a lot of vanilla coverages just because they play each other later on in the year. You don't want to show too much, but at the same time, you want to have your guys line up without thinking, just react and go out here and compete.
Minute left in this first quarter. Steelers scored on their first 2 possessions. Josh Dobbs' 3-yard touchdown run, and then a 27-yard pass to Tevin Jones. And this is a handoff to their fullback, Alex Armah, and he gets first down yardage, a gain of 5 yards. He's out of North Carolina, a 7th-round pick with Oakland last year, and was claimed on waivers by Carolina.
You can see this Panthers offense moving moving the ball in this particular drive, but last year they ranked 19th offensively, so they had to make a move on the offensive side. They brought Norv Turner in here, new coordinator, so they're looking to throw the football down the field. But when you have playmakers the way that they feel they do on the outside, this is something they want to continue to try to do.
First down handoff. And again, Cameron Pay with nowhere to go, but he gets away from Boston, gets to the outside. However, Chicolo is there to make that play, as well as Tyson Alualu. That's no gain, even though it looked like he bounced it outside as we get to the end of that first quarter.
I talked about the playmakers. Remember, former Steeler Jericho Cotchery. He's the receiver coach for Carolina.
This is the end of the first quarter.
All right, it's been a successful first quarter. The Steelers score on both of their possessions. Josh Dobbs doing the damage with his feet and with his arm. 14-0 Pittsburgh leads after 1.
Steelers preseason football presented by Xfinity. Change the way you experience TV with Xfinity X1. By Pepsi, the official soft drink of the Pittsburgh Steelers. And by the Pennsylvania Lottery. Play the Steelers fast play game from the Pennsylvania Lottery. Players must be 18 or older. Please play responsibly.
Bob Pompiani, Charlie Batch, Missy Matthews here. Steelers first quarter lead 14-0. 2 touchdown drives engineered by Josh Dobbs. Heinicke now with time, throwing and having his receiver, and that's going to go to the big tight end Evan Bayless out of Oregon, and he gets all the way down inside the Steeler 10-yard line, a gain of 20. And there's Adam Bisnawadi. Pitt fans remember him, went to Pitt from Fox Chapel area, a 6th-round pick of the Giants last year, but they traded up 7 spots to get him, and he's now trying to make a spot for himself here. He's a big kid. Charlie, you remember him from the Panthers offensive line days.
Anytime you make a move and jump up to get somebody, that means they really like you.
Their first of the half, 30-second timeout.
So the Steelers take a timeout. Looked like maybe a personnel issue, not the right people on the field, but Bisnawadi is a big kid and really solidified the spot here with the Pitt Panthers, who, by the way, open up this weekend, and we certainly wish Pat Narduzzi and his team all the best against Albany. And then on September the 8th, it's Pitt and Penn State right here. Let's go to the Bordas hotline, brought to you by Bordas and Bordas Fighting for Justice. The Cardinals have an early lead on the Pirates 2-0 as the Pirates try to make a 2 out of 3 winning last night. Trevor Williams has been so good. The Brewers lead the Reds. The Cubs continue to play well. Pirates are 13.5 out of first place. And now we look at the last night of the preseason, the Bengals over the Colts, the Browns, and they're hopeful there of having a good season, up 17-0. But I keep in mind that they had a 4-0 preseason last year, Charlie, and they go 0-16. So go figure.
They're trying to change the culture up there for sure.
Handoff. Again, Artis Payne gets down to about the 6-yard line. He has been the workhorse here, gain of 2 yards.
There's a lot of hype this preseason game against the Lions, Browns and Lions, because Baker Mayfield was starting this game. So it would be interesting to see the stats as we pop back up and open up scores.
Well, Tyrod Taylor got injured in that last game they played. And it looked like it was a severe injury, but he came back and it was a dislocation. And now the Steelers are in another situation where they have somebody coming in late.
Before the snap, timeout, Pittsburgh.
That's 2 of those.
Their second of the half, 30-second timeout.
You don't want to see that.
No, you have back-to-back
especially in a
plays.
game that counts.
Back-to-back plays right there with the personnel. They just weren't able to get the right guys on and off the field.
All right. We got some fashion news for you. If you've never been to this, you should go. It's called Rock Steeler Style. It's a fashion show. It's signature night. See your 2018 Steelers suit up along with their families. Special guest, we got American Idol Gabby Barrett, all for a good cause. Rock Steeler Style is Friday, October the 5th at Stage AE. For tickets, visit Steelers.com. Greta Rooney does a great job with that. Tia Tomlin and all the players. It's really a nice night to see him in a different environment. Here's Heinicke throwing behind his receiver, and it's a good back shoulder catch. And it's a touchdown there by Mose Frazier. And he makes it a touchdown of 6 yards, and that's a nice, impressive drive by Carolina. It was 12 plays, 81 yards.
That's a good throw and catch right there. All indications where it was going to be a run. And you see the quarterback right, just quick flip of the hips right there, able to put the ball back shoulder. It's a tough play to defend.
So Ron Rivera likes that response after the Steelers had scored on their first 2. Graham Gano now with the point after. Gano has been a mainstay there in Carolina for several years. And this after He was actually with several teams too, the Ravens, the Redskins, Carolina, just like a lot of these kickers. Same story with Boswell. Sometimes you need opportunity. When it knocks, answer. Both these kickers have done that. 12 plays, 81 yards. It's 14-7 now. Frazier gets the touchdown. This fall on Pittsburgh CW, All-American based on the real life of NFL star Spencer Pasinger, a high school football star from South Los Angeles, thrown into a new world when he's recruited by a coach, played by Tay Diggs, to play in Beverly Hills. All-American, Wednesdays at 9 on Pittsburgh CW, which is the home of the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call. Every single night, 10:35, we take your calls. Ryan Switzer's trying to make a call to the end zone here. He's very good at this, and that's why the Steelers brought him here. He'll take the kick from Graham Gano. Steelers lead 14-7, second quarter. Dobbs a 3-yard touchdown, a 27-yard pass for a touchdown to Teven Jones. And then Heinicke to Frazier gets Carolina on the board. Switzer now crosses the 20, tries to bounce to the outside. Pursuit is good, and that's about all he'll get. 22 yards given where he took it from. Switzer looking to get some open real estate to the outside, but it was shut down rather quickly.
You can see this crowd got excited on that first cut, thinking they may have an opportunity to take it to the house. They want to see sparks in this return game, something they haven't had happen. And of course, they're trying to figure out a way, if they can, especially off the punt return unit, to get Antonio Brown from back returning. You know, so that's why.
Although those guys can do it. Antonio's had success. Juju had success.
Antonio wants to do it. You know, this is something that he wants to do. But of course, if you can have another option, he'll take it.
All right, Dobbs back at work now from his own 22-yard line. Here comes a blitz. He throws, he's hit, off balance, goes incomplete. That was good coverage down the field, and Dobbs got hammered as he let that one go. David Mayo with the pressure.
That was a nice job of pressure by the Panthers up front. This is team
Before the pass was thrown, illegal contact, defense number 23. That's a 5-yard penalty from the previous spot and an automatic first down.
Ben Jacobs also there. That's a first down. So instead of the incompletion, also first penalty of the game. That's unusual. Yeah. Normally we have about 10 by now.
And the Steelers, they're fortunate on that side, because instead of 2nd and 10, you get 5 yards, automatic first down.
All right, Joshua Dobbs. Handoff. Not much there. Ridley trying to make a last-minute plea to be on this roster. He's a veteran. He's been around. He played a lot last year down the stretch.
And Ridley is a six-year guy at LSU. He understands what he brings to this team. All he wants is an opportunity. He feels that if it's a third down role, he could bring a lot from a veteran experience to that room. But also, if he has to play, he can do so.
2nd and 10 now. Steelers leading 14-7. Early moments of this second quarter. Dobbs, again, handoff. Goes to Ridley. This time blocking is there. Ridley up the middle. And he gets across the 45. Actually, they'll mark it at the 44-yard line. 22 yards on a nice run.
Nice job. Cut back. He has quick feet. One cut up the field. You can see it get vertical really quickly.
B.J. Finney with a beautiful block right there as well. You see it right to the right of your screen. Paved the way in a cutback for Ridley.
Big Matt Fowler up front.
Number 36, by the way, if you watch Carolina, is Demetrius Cox. Played at Jeanette High School. Really good kid. Went to Michigan State. We'll have more on him in a second. Dobbs standing in the pocket now, trying to get away from, and does. Dumps it off to Ridley. Well diagnosed by Carolina. Not much open down the field. Had to go to that check down option. Only 5 yards.
Just taking what the defense gives you here. He's looking down the field, realizes running out of time. Find your check down. He's able to connect with Ridley.
And there's Demetrius Cox. As I said, Michigan State from Jeanette. And his father, Dorsey Cox, was here tonight, and they presented a nice award to Art Rooney II because he made a nice contribution to help the Jeanette midget team go, and they played and competed nationally. So congrats to all of them. Ridley now changing direction. Not much open up the middle, and that closes quickly. It was Vernon Butler, number 92, there with only a 1-yard gain.
Trying to get to the outside, really realizing he can't get there, just trying to get as much as he can, making sure he doesn't lose anything. And now you have a manageable third down situation, 3rd and 4 coming up for the Steelers.
So we saw a read option earlier. That's one play that he can give you that others cannot. Ben Roethlisberger sometimes I look at him and I think he's going to be a coach one day. He seems to like that role on the sideline.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be NFL. I think he's really going to, at some point, be a midget league coach down the line.
Yeah, well, his youth camp does a great job with kids. He's highly active in that thing, and that could be something down the road.
And I think his defensive coordinator probably will be Brett Keiser.
How about that? That's a pretty good 1-2 punch. That goes out of the reach of Trey Griffey, number 15, and that's going to set up a punt. And the first one, Jordan Berry. We speculate a little bit that he could be on a little bit of a hot seat. Matt Wiles punted well, but Berry has been rather inconsistent. He's been real good over his time here in Pittsburgh, but they need him to get back to that. DJ Moore back deep. He's their first-round pick out of Maryland. Big Ten receiver of the year last year, and like I said, they expect big things. A fair catch here. Good hang time on that punt by Jordan Berry. 36 yards, no return, and it's inside the 20-yard line. Job well done by number 4 right there. We'll take a break. 14-7. Steelers now lead by 7 as we continue live at Heinz Field. College football at the Miller Lite Kickoff and Rib Festival, August 30th through September the 3rd. Look at that. Admission is free. National rib vendors, free concerts, football, and fun. Check it out. September 2nd. Join the Steelers 5K Labor Day run. Visit HeinzField.com/ribfest for details. New quarterback in now for Carolina. It's Garrett Gilbert. Number 4 replaces Heineke, who had the touchdown pass to Mose Frazier. Handoff to Elijah Hood, who's back in the game. He got injured early in this game, but good news for him, he's back out there. 1 yard gain there, and Missy Matthews is standing by down on the field with a message that Mike Tomlin had to his team prior to this game. Missy.
Yeah, before the preseason finale every year, Bob, he shows them video from past matchups against Carolina of guys who were on the bubble but made the roster. Marcus Allen is out there now. Coach Tomlin said the odds are stacked against him, but guys like Ross Ventrone, Rosie Nix, even Antonio Brown before he was the AB we know and love, they had to do something big in this game to make the team. Back up to you guys.
That's a good point, too. We have a flag on that play, which was a run by Hood, a gain of 7, and it's holding against Carolina, so it won't stand. But I think Missy makes a good point there. There are jobs to be won here, and I remember Antonio Brown back when that was happening. Even though he was a 6th-round pick, like a lot of 6th-round picks, man, you have to earn your spot, and he did.
Holding. Offense number 76. Penalty is half the distance to the goal. Replay, 2nd down.
That's on Blaine Clausel.
And going to Missy's point, that's something Mike Tomlin always starts off his meeting saying, listen, this game may not be important to some, but to others it means a lot. And he shows those videos, and you're talking about people that don't even have numbers on what they're currently wearing now, and he's showing a young guy having to prove his value to this team, and it's always important for these young guys to view that.
And Mike Tomlin is always looking for opportunities. None of this stuff is meaningless for him. He knows how important it is. Nice tackle there by Brian Allen as he goes to Howard Bugg. Howard Bugg. I always get that reverse. He was the guy who caught the touchdown pass that beat Pitt last year or 2 years ago, whenever it was in Carolina. It was the last play of the game, I think, in the 37-36 game. Bugg Howard. Frazier. Howard Duke in the game now. Austin Duke, first time we've seen him tonight. And it's 3rd down. Steeler defense trying to pin its ears back and get some nice field position for the offense. Gilbert now in the pocket is going to go down the field. Good coverage by Brian Allen on the play. And there's not much room there for Austin Duke and Brian Allen. Getting better with each practice and each game, it looks like.
And that's what I was talking about earlier. This guy's 6'3". It's very hard to throw over top of him. You have to drop this ball in a perfect spot in order to complete that pass. That's what they love about Brian Allen, his size and what he brings to this defense.
Pilardi back to punt. He's going to be at his own end zone, so Switzer may have an opportunity here to show what he can do and give Steeler fans a taste of his explosiveness that we've seen. And last year in Dallas, before he was traded, he had an 83-yard punt return in a regular season game. So he's drifting back, takes it at the 38. He's got a lot of speed. Here he goes to the outside now. He's not going to have enough to get away from those guys, or does he? To the 46-yard line. Zigging and zagging. That's a 50-yard punt and an 8-yard return. And we will have a timeout. Good coverage, special teams. And Switzer tried to, but didn't have many options here. Steelers back on offense when we come back to Heinz Field. Steeler fans, come to Heinz Field on Sunday, September the 2nd for the 30th annual Gatorade Steelers 5K race, fitness walk, and kids kickoff run. Proceeds benefit the Art Rooney Scholarship Foundation. You can register now at Steelers.com. A lot of people here. We've seen some celebrity sightings. Sofia Vergara is here. Of course, Joe Manganiello, a huge Steeler fan. And Jake Gensel of the Pittsburgh Penguins, two-time Stanley Cup champ, is here. And the Steelers get across midfield on a 5-yard gain by Ridley. Hockey season is just around the corner as well. Demetrius Cox from Jeanette made that play. But the Penguins with 2 Stanley Cups in a row, and then Washington knocked them off. How about all 3 came from the same division? And those 2 teams are going to be going at it again this year.
That's it. And there's a lot of excitement around Pittsburgh, especially with the Steelers and the Penguins at this point. But really on that last play, a little upset at himself just because he played with block perfectly as it spilled out to the corner, and he's not able to make that guy miss. He felt he should have turned that into a bigger gain.
Number 82, Bucky Hodges, already with a big gainer in this one. Rolling and finding Hodges on the roof, and that's good for first down yardage. Ben Jacobs is there to knock him down. Gain of 7, and they get first down yardage. Well designed, well executed.
Nice design of the play here, rolling out to the left. Get your shoulders around, make that throw, deliver. Bucky Hodges, this is a guy that really feels good about his position on his team. Injuries to Vance McDonald, Xavier Grimble created opportunities for him. And he feels like he just wants to stay the course, go out here, continue to learn his offense, and if he needs to be called upon, he can do so.
Chooks Okorafor is playing left tackle right now, and he's going to be one of those guys who they hope doesn't have to play a lot because he's kind of a red shirt year for him as Ridley gets big yardage to the outside. That's 11 yards if they spot it where I think they did, and that'll be another first down for Stephen Ridley. 2
plays ago, play spilled to the corner, wasn't able to make him miss. Now he look quick feet, makes him miss, gets to be outside for a gain of 12.
Ridley now 5 carries, 34 yards. Before the game, I put up a Twitter poll at KD Pomp. You can also follow Charlie at CharlieBatch16. And I just asked, no team keeps 4 quarterbacks. Nobody did last year. It's unlikely. 3 spots available. If it's a choice of Jones and Dobbs, who stays? Originally it was 60-40 Jones. It's now 50-50. People are watching this game and impressed by what Josh Dobbs has done. And there are advantages to both. 3-yard carry there for Ridley, but you're opening up eyes here tonight, and it's going to be a tough decision regardless, I think.
He is, and Dobbs can play. It's just unfortunate when you have 4 quarterbacks, and it's hard. And I said in the pregame broadcast that I don't think the Steelers will keep 4 quarterbacks, and I still don't think that they'll keep them. There's just not enough reps throughout the course of the week to develop a number 3 and a number 4.
Ridley remains in the game. Samuel started this one. Dobbs is in the whole way. Dobbs now under pressure. He's not going to get away from this pressure. He was hit originally by Zach Moore, spun away. A flag comes in, and we're going to have unnecessary roughness there. Quarterbacks are not supposed to get piled onto. We've seen that call quite a bit throughout the course of the preseason. Here it is again, but Moore was the first guy to meet him. He got away from him.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer. Defense number 91. 15 yards, automatic, first down.
And that's Brian Cox Jr. You remember his father was a 3-time Pro Bowler and a man who was fined a lot during his career.
At the end of this play, he just comes in, leads with his helmet, and that's what the rule says. Leading with your helmet, they will call that flag.
So it's one of those things that's going to be certainly under the microscope. They said that at the beginning of the season, and they've been true to their word. I think the one thing we've seen less of, actually, as you look at Brian Cox Jr., is the helmet-to-helmet call. We saw a lot of it in the first couple of weeks, and it seemed to have players are adapting better, number 1. Right. But I also think they've maybe not going to call on unless they feel it's really with intent. All right, Dobbs standing in there, throwing into the corner of the end zone. Trey Griffey there, but it goes incomplete. We have a flag down. Nice coverage there by Lorenzo Doss.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer. Defense number 52. Half the distance to the goal. Automatic. First down.
Jared Norris called.
Norris does a nice job beating the tight end.
I don't know. Now, that play, some people are going to say.
Carolina.
It's football.
They're first of the half.
What do you say?
30-second timeout.
Do we have another angle? And if we can see. But initially looking at it, didn't look like it was a penalty.
That's what I thought.
I was looking down the field. Griffey had an opportunity to catch that football. It looked like he had one hand on it. Was trying to keep his feet in the back of the end zone. Wasn't able to come down with it. You see Ron Rivera, he's not happy with that call, giving up 30 yards of penalties on personal fouls.
We got to take a look at that again. Rivera doesn't like it because he thought it was a form tackle. Yes, it's on a quarterback. Yes, he's in the pocket. And here is the actual rule for roughing the pass, landing on the quarterback's body with all or most of your body weight. But the problem is you're already in stride here.
He hits him in the shoulder.
I don't know how he's supposed to distinguish when the play is over. He can't tell, probably.
I'm with you, Bob. I don't know how he's supposed to defend that play right there.
It helps the Steelers, but I guarantee you if it went the other way, people would be chirping that, hey, that's a good football play. Anyway, the Steelers will take advantage. Ridley trying to get to the outside, going nowhere. A host of linebackers there. Smith, Elder, no gain on that play. Cornerbacks coming up, making that.
Last time the Steelers were in this situation here, Dobbs with a little RPO. He was reading. he was reading that running, reading that defensive end. The defensive end collapses. He's going to hold that football and he's going to run with it. And I thought he had an opportunity there to possibly run with it.
Stephen Jones already has a touchdown in this game, 27-yard combination with Dobbs. He's at the top of your screen. And again, Dobbs rolling to his right, throwing into the end zone. And it's a drop this time by Jones. He could have had his second touchdown. I don't know if the hand got in there. It looked like a pure drop as Dobbs made a nice play to get it there after some pressure in the pocket.
That's it, realizing defensive end, in this case it's safety off the edge, was there. And
that should have been caught.
That should have been caught. Hits Jones right in the hands. Pass it.
Dobbs got hammered again. There's not much you can do on that play. He's going up.
What I like about that play, he knew immediately where he wanted to go with the football, realizing flat wasn't there. He's finding his over route, delivers the ball perfectly. Jones just was not able to come down with the football.
All right, third down now as the Steelers operate inside the 10-yard line. Dobbs looking, again, pressure. Tries to escape, does. Uses legs to cut inside the 5 to the 3-yard line. A gain of 5 yards. Everybody well covered in the shortened field.
And Carolina saying the ball may have came loose at the end as they're arguing with the referees. Oh, he was down.
All it takes is a knee, an arm, whatever. We'll see what happens here.
His elbow comes down.
He never lost it.
Yeah.
So I don't know what they were complaining about, but it'll set up a 21-yard field goal for the Wizard of Oz, and he makes that through. So should have been a touchdown. Jones, I'm sorry, has the touchdown tonight. He also has a drop in the end zone that should have been 6. Instead, they settle for 3, and the Steelers have up their advantage. To 17-7, they lead here at Heinz Field. Hey everyone, this fall join Dick Wolf, executive producer of Law & Order, for his new dramatic CBS series called FBI. Tuesdays this fall, KDK TV. And did I see a Mr. D'Annunzio sighting over there? Outstanding restaurant in Jeanette. And of course, a lot of people from Jeanette here to watch Demetrius Cox. Trying to make this roster. Back deep this time is Elijah Hood. He'll take the kick from Boswell. He'll get it at the 6-yard line. Elijah Hood following blocking, and it shuts down rather quickly, and 17 yards on that return. Marcus Allen was there to make the play on special teams. He's another guy on the bubble as a 5th-round pick from Penn State.
And they want to see more out of him, and right now didn't get many opportunities last week. Of course, your starter's playing a lot more, but here he is entering in the game. 3 minutes 57 seconds in the second quarter. I look for him to play the entire, at least second half as well.
That last scoring drive was 8 plays, 54 yards, 4:52 it took, setting up the 21-yard field goal for Boswell, but it should have been, like I said, a touchdown right into the hands of Stephen Jones, who dropped it in the end zone. So now it's Garrett Gilbert for his second possession of the game. That quarterback, number 4. And he hits a receiver there, and that is Cam Serenier, and he makes a reception. He gets pretty good yardage there, somewhere between 9 or 10 yards, depending on where they spot it. All right, we got some information from Missy Matthews down on the sideline. Missy.
All right, you guys are talking a lot about Chris Boswell. As we know, last week he signed a new deal with the Steelers, 5 years. Just came in to kick that field goal. Mr. Reliable, yes, last year with all the game winners. As a thank you to the field goal team, Chris Boswell bought all of them personalized luggage. Marquise Pouncey and Marcus Gilbert happy about that and said, thanks, Boz. Thanks for getting some cash for us. Guys, back up to you.
That's how to make sure people protect you well. Remember Dan Marino in the day with the isotoner gloves?
Absolutely.
Hey, I know Roethlisberger's bought his offensive line some pretty good stuff.
Oh, yeah, you hear it happen all the time, but that's the first time I heard that a kicker has done that. But
well, you got $20 million. You could...
Very well deserved. I mean, Boswell, 142 points last year. I mean, this is a guy who keeps going, and of course, when your guys are protecting, you want to make sure that they're appreciated.
All right, 2nd down and 7 now facing Carolina. They trail 17-7. Second quarter action here at Heinz Field. Gilbert throws. And it's going to go for a short gain of about 6 yards right there to Barner.
Very nice coverage downfield by the Steelers deep secondary. Forcing the check down. And now here's a big down. Of course, if you're a pass rusher up front, you want to make sure you're able to hopefully set the tone, set the edge, and get after that quarterback.
Kenyon Barner, number 38, out of Oregon. He was a 6th-round pick. Carolina a few years ago, but won a Super Bowl last year. Limited playing time with the Philadelphia Eagles, so he was there enough to get a Super Bowl ring. All right, 3rd down, and it's Barner who has it. Crosses midfield into Steeler territory. Down to about the 43-yard line. Well good enough for first down yardage. 18 yards as we get to the 2-minute warning and a flag on the field.
Holding. Offense number 76. That's a 10-yard penalty. Replay, 2nd down. Correction, 3rd down. This is the 2-minute warning.
That's a second penalty on Clausel, number 76. And a lot of penalties on Carolina have factored into the second quarter. We're at the 2-minute warning. Steelers build a 14-0 lead. They're currently up by 10 at Heinz Field. Welcome back, everyone. Let's check out the Bordas and Bordas scoreboard. Fighting for justice. And remember, we'll have all the highlights and scores tonight. Pirates currently trail the Cardinals in the 5th inning. Joe Musgrove on the mound for the Bucks. Cubs lead the Braves. Brewers over the Reds. NFL, Bengals up. So are the Browns. Redskins, Ravens, and CBS, interestingly, picked the Ravens to win this division this year, CBSSports.com, and I was a little surprised by that. I mean, no doubt they'll be better, I think, than they were last year, but a lot of their prognostication came with Lamar Jackson being part of it, or at least a guy who pushes Joe Flacco as a quarterback.
Right. When
you see someone who could potentially take your job, does that motivate you even more, and does it translate into maybe getting Flacco back to where he was?
Neutral zone infraction. Defense number 92. 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
But yes, to answer your question, it does motivate you. And of course, you take a quarterback in the 1st round, you don't plan on sitting that guy for very long. So Flacco has came in, or really they say he come in better shape than what he has in the past, but he wants to go out there and prove that he was worthy of that contract, worthy of the Super Bowl MVP. And of course, when you haven't won the division in a very long time, expectations are growing thin.
Gilbert from behind, pressure, ball loose. Adaney with the forced fumble, the strip sack, and it's recovered by the Steelers. There he is, Keon Adams. They did this earlier in the preseason. Ola Adaney and Adams. And a turnover and a big one.
Adaney coming off the edge, strip sack right there. Of course, 92, reminding you of the old 92, James Harrison. And this is what you talked about in the pregame, Bob.
Yes, indeed.
Adaney, this is a guy, 3rd sack of the preseason, coming off the edge. And right now, he's stripped sacking the football, and he's now creating the turnover for the defense.
Is under further review.
Now it's under review inside of 2 minutes. That's not called by coaches. I got to believe that Adaney is going to make this roster. I also think Matthew Thomas has shown that he can do some things, but I mean, how could you not? He has 4 sacks in the preseason now.
And that's it right there. You said we're going to take a look at this, see if the quarterback's arm was moving, but I don't think it was. No,
I think he got to it before it happened.
That should be the Steelers. Yeah. Steelers ball. And that's just a great rip move underneath, coming on the outside, getting to the quarterback.
And Clausel got called for 2 penalties, number 76, and that's now a sack allowed.
And that's not what you want to put on film in your final preseason game, but a nice job here of the Steelers recovering. Adams coming back, being able to pick that football up, a recovery, but now we saw enough of Dobbs. Dobbs finished today 8 of 12, 151 yards, should have had 2 touchdowns, but he has 1 through the air, 3 carries, 18 yards, and adds another touchdown. Man, that's a solid performance. And now we get a chance to see the rookie Mason Rudolph as he's going to finish off this second quarter.
You know, and
the ruling on the field is confirmed. It is a fumble. First down, Pittsburgh.
yeah, so Steelers take advantage. And again, you look at these linebackers now. Keon Adams was a 7th-round pick. They thought he was like an extra pick this year because he missed all of last year. You got 3 young linebackers. Matthew Thomas also, who has the sideline-to-sideline speed, and they need depth there.
And they really were expecting a lot of big things out of Keon Adams last year. Left camp early. This is a guy draft pick out of Western Michigan, but they really feel like they have an added pick this year because he was able to pick up the system last year, and here he is performing.
Rudolph comes in the shotgun now. Toussaint in the backfield, right on the money to Trey Griffey. Griffey gets away from one, but not the second line of defense. That's good for first down yardage for number 15, a gain of 14 yards.
What won't be shown right there is Fitzgerald Toussaint doing a nice job picking up the blitzing safety, allowing Rudolph to set his feet and deliver the football.
He's done a good job of that in this camp. Connor has certainly upgraded his blitz pickup game. So has Toussaint. These guys, they stress it. It's a big part of their offense in the end zone there. Well covered is Patterson on the play.
And on a big play earlier.
Gunter.
And on a big play earlier, excuse me, Bob, where you had Jalen Samuels picking up a blitzing.
Right.
Blitz and safety to allow a big play to be created.
But nobody does it better than Le'Veon Bell. That's part of his game too.
Absolutely.
Should be part of every running back. Some just don't do it well. All these guys have improved, you know, by watching them in these preseason games and a training camp.
He's the best in the league. No good opportunity to see that when Bell shows up. Of course, there's some speculation on when he will show up, but I fully expect to see him next week.
Yeah, Kevin Colbert on the pregame show told me it's up to him. Here's Rudolph now. Rudolph getting away from pressure. Gets inside the 10, down to about the 6-yard line before Jared Norris makes the play there. And there is a flag.
Holding. Offense number 76. That's a 10-yard penalty. Replay, second down.
It's on Chooks.
It was a late flag. It was after Mason steps up in the huddle, but of course
he's got the jersey.
Yeah. Got to be able to work your hands back inside. They'll let you get away with it the first time, but if you don't redirect your hands and get them back inside, they'll call a penalty.
Chooks Okorafor out of Western Michigan, this year's 3rd-round pick. Came to the United States 8 years ago, was born in Nigeria, picked up the game late, but they really like his raw talent, and they're willing to, you know, give him that opportunity here. All right, Rudolph this time finds into the end zone again. Devon Patterson goes up and takes it away from the defensive back. If that's they say no, the ball hit the ground. Looked like it was going to be a touchdown, but the field judge was right there. That would have been a 24-yard
ruling on the field is
touchdown.
an incomplete pass. 3rd down.
He did a good job getting up there. Looked like he had it at one point, Charlie.
He was able to stack the defender, and he tries to go up and make a play. Referee, the last call. Ball comes out.
Yeah, it comes out. Yeah.
He has 2 feet down. He hits the ground. Elbows underneath it. Elbows underneath. Then the ball comes out. Of course, right now Mike Tomlin wants a challenge, but it doesn't look like he's going to get it.
Well, it's inside it too. That would have been up from the press box, right? And they may want to take a look at this upstairs.
And here comes the challenge. Mike Tomlin was standing direct.
Before the snap, the previous play is under further review.
No challenge, but they look. He probably pleaded his case, and the rule changed, Charlie, this year. So I'm going to be interested to see what they call based on the rule change.
Right.
2 feet down, football move.
Mike Tomlin was standing right next to the replay official, and he's saying you have to challenge it.
That would have been no challenge, or there would be no look at last year. But I think they changed that rule. I'd like to get the actual wording of the rule.
He has 2 feet down. The elbow hits the ground. Now, what point is it possession?
You could say he has possession right there.
Elbow down. That should be a touchdown.
Again, it's changed, so that'll be one of the differences this year.
This will be one that people talk about over the next day or two as the new rule changes for this year to see how they rule this play.
You can also argue it didn't hit the ground maybe. Maybe it just stuck between his legs and came out. Watch.
He has control, elbows down.
But watch where the ball is.
Defender comes in, then the ball comes out.
There it is. But the bottom line is football move after you have possession. I don't know. We'll see. This is the first time we've had a look at this.
See, of course, all of this came with Jesse James's incomplete pass last year, but the officials looking at it, and he comes off of immediately, and he has a call for us.
Sean Hockley. Sean Hockley. He's got to get his guns bigger.
The ruling on the field stands as called. It is an incomplete pass. Third down.
I think the Steelers are saying, and this is the actual wording, control 2 feet down a football move.
I think he had all of those. The football move to me is the elbow hitting the ground.
That's why I think the Steelers are upset, and Tomlin is still upset, and I think it's one of those things that I understand why the official made that call. But it goes for naught. So 3rd and 20. Still a good effort there by Patterson, and it is so duly noted. Rudolph fires in the end zone, has his man, and that for a touchdown is Teven Jones. After dropping one, he has his second. Could have been 3 tonight. 24 yards to the house.
And that is a fantastic play by Jones right there. Unfortunate situation for Patterson, but Jones comes right back, reads cover 2, understands the middle of the field is wide open, and Rudolph delivers a dime.
Right there in a very limited window.
And Rudolph is excited about it. I don't know if we'll get the celebration here, but Rudolph is sprinting down the field, and he actually jumps over Jones as Jones starts to celebrate.
Teven Jones out of Memphis. He's already been with teams like the Texans, the Chiefs, and he's trying to stick here, although he won't just because of the numbers. But he and Patterson certainly have made cases for themselves even more, and the flag flies. Delay of the game.
I don't know if he was looking for a delay of game, but Bucky Hodges runs on the field late, and the referee looks right at him. But if you never huddle up, you never break the huddle with 12, 10, 11, especially on the field goal team. This is where Mike Tomlin is. So maybe on the defense.
He's going to go for the 2-point conversion, maybe.
Encroachment by the defense, number 91. Pittsburgh has elected to move the ball to the 1-yard line and attempt a point for 2.
So Brian Cox, who was called for unnecessary roughness, roughing the quarterback earlier, now gets an offside call, and all of a sudden Tomlin says, "This go
Correction.
for 2. Why not?"
The number was 71.
Well, I take that back then. It's F.A. Obada.
And this is something that Mike Tomlin's gone for 2 a lot in the preseason. Remember, 2015, he was 8 of 11. Last year, he was only 2 of 4. So will this be something you see more of? But Mike Tomlin, if he feels the opportunity is right, he's going to take it.
All right, Steelers trying to make it 25-7 here, under a minute left in the first half. A lot of good offense today by the Steelers. Rudolph now gets away from pressure, takes it in himself. Takes a little hit there at the end, but he crossed the goal line, and he's passing now. He's very upset with getting hit when he did. Flags fly. You don't see that much out of Rudolph normally. I think that was Andre Smith, number 57, who came in. Now, he had already crossed the goal line, and that's what he was upset about.
And Rudolph clearly was in the end zone. He takes 2 feet, 2 steps in the end zone, and right here, shot. Unnecessary.
Unnecessary, right. And he got right up and got in his face. Like to see that kind of emotion. Now, at that play, you know he's in.
The try for 2 is successful. After the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct by number 2 of the offense, taunting. That's 1 foul of that type for potential disqualification. That 15-yard foul will be enforced on the kickoff.
Taunting?
So, well, I mean, he went after him, but they missed the original call, which could have been called. If you're trying to protect quarterbacks, I realize he's a runner at that point, but still the play was... Bottom line is Rudolph was emotional, both on the touchdown reception by Teven Jones, and then on this play, he goes right back after Andre Smith, and then his team sticks up for him.
And he has a right to go after him right there. I mean, he's in there for a 2-point conversion. Of course, your teammates are going to stand up and fight for you. I love the emotion right there, and when you feel you have been hit unnecessarily, of course you're going to go after him.
Yeah.
A little laugh right now by offensive coordinator Randy Fichtner and Landry Jones. But of course, when you cost your team 15 yards, that's not something that Mike Tomlin would be happy about.
In 53 seconds, they should get pretty good field position here with Hood back to receive this kick by Boswell. 25-7, Steelers have been electric tonight on offense, with a lot of guys trying to make sure that they have an opportunity here to make this roster, if for nothing else, open up other teams' eyes. Scouts are everywhere, Charlie. This is a big time for a lot of kids.
They really are. And if you're looking at scouting, if you look in the press box, you'll see a lot of scouts from other teams. They're paying attention to this game, and if they get the video footage, they're going to now look at the waiver wires through the weekend. So if you're a player out here, regardless of what you may think will happen, you want to go out here and just put your best performance on and just show you want to know what I belong in this National Football League, and you deserve a shot.
So Mason Rudolph with a 4-play, 29-yard drive. It all happened after Ola Adeni with a strip sack recovered by Keon Adams. 24-yard reception by Jones, his second of the game. So it's Kenyon Barner who's back to take this one. Barner now getting across the 35 to the 37 there before Reeves and Phillips makes the tackle. And they get better field position than they would have gotten because of that penalty on Mason Rudolph.
Nice kick by Boz right there. You end up giving up, you give up 15 yards on the penalty, but you're able to make the stop.
All right, let's check out the Bordas and Bordas scoreboard once again. Bordas and Bordas fighting for justice. And remember, KDK TV will have all your scores and highlights. Josh Taylor will be there tonight. Brewers lead the Reds 2-1. Pirates now trail 5-zip. Cubs over the Braves 3-1. Lots of preseason action winding down as well. More of that coming up on the Bordas and Bordas scoreboard. All right, pass down the field, and this one almost picked off there by Brian Allen. Good coverage, and he's a big guy in the secondary. You don't see many guys 6'3", 205 out of Utah, but he's been coming on in this training camp.
It actually was a pretty good throw to the sideline. Allen does a nice job of undercutting. In that range, he's able to get a hand on it.
Bug Howard was that intended receiver. Garrett Gilbert, he's been the second quarterback used tonight for Carolina. Sets up the screen, goes over the head of Barner, and incomplete as Tyler Matakevich was right in the area.
Playing man-to-man coverage. Matakevich does a nice job of reading the screenplay. Something that, I mean, this is a guy out of Temple. He made a lot of plays while in college, and of course last year when the injury happened to Ryan Shazier, they wanted him to play a little bit more. Didn't want him to play in the defensive unit, but they wanted him more on the special team side, and that's why Sean Spence got.
Now as we have 37 seconds remaining in this first half, Steelers up 25-7. Gilbert.
You're coming from the outside in on a crossing route. He hits him in stride, but Allen
timeout Pittsburgh.
Closes
Their
fast.
Third and final
is able to bring down the defense.
Please reset the game clock.
The ball carrier and is able to create a fourth down, and of course Bud Dupree right there, first to celebrate with him.
Mike Tomlin taking another timeout, and he said, why not? Let's get our guys another opportunity. 30 seconds, see what we can do, and if Switzer comes up with some nice field position.
If he returns this one, Bob, he will bring the house down right now.
I agree.
Got excited the previous two times off of one cut. He wasn't able to break it, but man, if he gets the opportunity here, boy, it'll wake these fans up.
Pilardi back to punt. Switzer back at his own 25 right now, just acquired from Oakland, as we told you, in a trade that was made. Got on a red eye, got to Pittsburgh, was there at 6 a.m., anxious to go. Originally 4th-round draft pick of Dallas. This is a good kick by Pilardi. No chance for a return by Switzer, and it goes out of bounds at about the 6 or 7 yard line. He likes that kick. 54 yards, no return, and that may end any Mike Tomlin thoughts about going the distance with 23 seconds left.
Absolutely, you're going to run it out at this point. But I'll tell you what was interesting. We're sitting there in the press box, of course, when we're having our production meetings, and we're watching the TV, and you see Switzer on the TV playing for the Raiders. You're just like, wow. Crazy how
NFL Network, yeah, but that was just the other day.
Yes.
And here he is. That's the life of a football player or a professional sports person. I mean, some days you can't control. I look at the rosters of a lot of these teams, and you see guys with 8 and 9 teams.
Right.
He's already been in 3 different places now in a year and a half. Rudolph just takes a knee, and that's how this half is going to end. But a highly successful offensive half by the Steelers, who came out under Josh Dobbs right off the bat, a 3-yard touchdown run by Dobbs, and then a touchdown pass to Tevin Jones, the first of 2 for him. Mason Rudolph gets in the action as well. All making the decision process very interesting. The Steelers with 257 yards in the first half against this Carolina team, and they lead by 18 after converting a 2-point conversion at the end of that last drive. So we'll continue with halftime activities from Heinz Field. The Steelers up by 18. Stick around. We got plenty more right here on KDKA TV.
Known him a very long time. His son actually was quarterbacking, and his name is Parker Brugus, throwing a touchdown pass. So congratulations to you, Parker.
So he joined the ranks of Dobbs and Mason Rudolph.
That's it.
In the end zone.
He's picking up right where they left off.
All right. Steelers are returning back to the field right now. Let's go downstairs. Missy Matthews has Coach Tomlin right now.
All right, thanks so much, guys. I want to start with Mason Rudolph. Coach, he came in with under 2 minutes to go. They get in the end zone, 2-point conversion. What did you like about his performance?
I just wanted him to have that situation. We decided pregame if we got a 2-minute drill that we would give it to him. It wasn't a full field, but it was good work. We loved the competitive spirit he displayed. Now we'll continue on.
The taunting penalty, do you say anything to him about that?
We'll talk about it after. I don't want to steal his competitive spirit tonight. He's focused on his play. That's things that you do when you take the emotions out of it on Monday.
What do you need to see from him in the second half?
I just want to see his leadership, competitive spirit. I want to see professional accuracy, and I think that's what you ask for from all young Cubes.
Josh Dobbs got the start tonight. 3 out of 4 of his drives resulted in points. 1 could have been a touchdown. You guys went for the field goal. What did you like about him?
That he's leaning in at the tape. I want all of these guys to put an exclamation point on their body of work, and with his efforts and his play tonight, he did that with a lot of other guys, 11 and so forth. So we just want 30 more minutes of that.
All right, Coach, thanks so much for your time.
Thank you.
All right, guys, let's send it back upstairs to you.
All right, Missy, thank you. Yes, Josh Dobbs came out fired up. You could tell on his touchdown run. In case you missed it, the Steelers built a 14-0 lead early on. Josh Dobbs, first drive of the game, 3-yard touchdown run. He had made some nice throws. That was a 79-yard drive. And then Dobbs' 27-yard touchdown pass to Tevin Jones, 86-yard drive in just a minute 26. Boom, 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 down the field. Heinicke scored to Frazier for Carolina to make it 14-7. Then Boswell after the Jones drop. And then Rudolph to Jones. He made up for that 25-7 Charlie plus a 2-point conversion.
That's it. Both quarterbacks off to a very good start. And if you're sitting there with Joshua Dobbs, you knew the pressure coming into this game, what everyone else was saying, and he went out there and just competed. And he's a very confident guy if you ever had a chance to talk to him. But to go out there, 3 drives, putting 17 points on the board, and then turning it over to Mason Rudolph, man, nice job by Josh Dobbs. We don't know what will happen over the weekend, but all I know is I think he proved enough that he deserved to be on this roster.
I think so. And at very worst, he'll be on some roster somewhere.
Absolutely.
And you wonder, because we talk about a shortage of really quality quarterbacks around the NFL. If you get a young kid who's developing, and you can say that Josh Dobbs certainly has taken a big step from last year to this year.
And when you look at good teams, there are not many spots. And, of course, when you have your draft picks and a lot of free agents that are coming in, those are good problems to have if you're Kevin Colbert, Mike Tomlin, Art Rooney. That reminds me of the teams that we had in the early 2000s when you're sitting there putting Super Bowl teams together, 2005, 2008. Those teams, it was very difficult, not a lot of spots, but you knew you were deep when it came down to second and third guys having to go into a game.
Carolina gets the ball first to start the second half. Back deep is Austin Duke. He's going to take this Boswell kick 1 yard deep into the end zone. Trying to get some yardage across the 20. Has a block to the outside. Duke with a penalty flag down. Boswell has his helmet ripped off as he tries to make the tackle. And I've always wondered about that, dating back to the injury you saw with Sean Sweesom. That's a 51-yard return, but a flag.
I like the aggressiveness of Boswell, but please keep your head out of there.
Yeah, I mean, you just don't want to see anything happen to a kicker in preseason. That opened the door for Boswell to take a job eventually here.
Absolutely. And of course, they're going to give him high five, but Danny Smith, special teams coach, he is not happy right now.
You don't want that to happen, but you're a football player too.
There were 2 fouls by the return team on the play. Holding. That penalty will be declined. Personal foul, illegal double team block by the return team number 16. Half the distance to the goal, first down.
So Rasheed Bailey, 16. There he is at the big center of your screen. No, I see. Not allowed to do that.
Not allowed. I know he didn't mean to do that because he's trying to get up the field lead blocking, but that's part of the rules and something they changed this year.
All right, another new quarterback. It's Kyle Allen, number 7 in, undrafted this year. They brought him in, again, looking for answers, maybe depth behind Cam Newton. Handoff, not much going there right up the middle as the Steelers defense shuts it down.
That's 27, Marcus Allen. This is a guy here out of Penn State, 5th-round draft pick. They want to see more. Talked about it earlier. He probably will play the entire second half here, but here he is getting in the box, shedding a defender, making the tackle.
So we've seen tonight Garrett Gilbert following Taylor Haneke, and now it's Kyle Allen at quarterback. You won't see Cam Newton, although you will see him here on November the 8th. It's a Thursday night when Carolina comes to Pittsburgh. Allen to Barner, wrapped up by, well, Matthew Tanos had him and then let him go, and he was eventually tackled there, gain of 7.
This is one of Norris Turner's favorite plays, just a little angle route out of the backfield. That's equivalent to a run play for him, but that's automatic 7-8 yards to be able to hit that on time.
All right, so Carolina here. 1st and 10, third quarter just underway. Steelers holding on to that 18-point lead built by 2 good quarterback performances by both Josh Dobbs and Mason Rudolph. And there's a good defensive play by front of that Steeler defense. A lot of guys combine on that. No gain for Barner. So you look at Carolina. I look at their team and I see when Cam Newton is operating, Christian McCaffrey, you got Greg Olsen, the big tight end. You got some experienced receivers like Devin Funchess. What do you expect from them? There is Cam Newton coming out right now.
Yeah, I mean, he probably eating a bunch of chicken fingers and everything else back there in the locker room when you're not playing and have no interest in the game. Trust me, you're trying to figure out something to do to stop the board.
Comes Phillips on a blitz. He doesn't get there, and it goes to Duke. Deshaun Phillips came up, timed it well. A gain of 9, however.
So going back, you'll see the blitz here. Nice timing there. Just getting the ball out of your hand. But going back, and you asked the question about Carolina, Devin Funchess last year, 63 catches, 840 yards. They want more. They want to throw the ball vertically down the field. And if you compare that to what Antonio Brown has done, 101 catches, 1,533 yards, almost double what Funchess has. So they're expecting a lot more. Of course, they traded a receiver to Buffalo, but they just are looking for a lot more.
Here's Barner now, bouncing off a would-be tackler and gets first down yardage, a gain of 5 there by the veteran out of Oregon. But Cam Newton is the guy they're built this offense around, obviously. Heisman Trophy winner, 3-time Pro Bowler, and the 2015 NFL MVP.
And they know what they have with Cam. Like you said, former MVP. He led the team in rushing. They obviously want those numbers to dwindle a little bit. But last year at 3,300 yards passing, 22 touchdowns. But those 16 interceptions were alarming to him. So they're trying to make sure that he's not throwing in the coverage and turning the football over.
Here's Allen now in the pocket, throws, flag flies as the completion is made to Cam Serenia. Gain of 6, and we do have a flag.
Pass interference. Offense number 16. 10-yard penalty. Replay, first down.
That's on Rasheed Bailey, the man who was called for that illegal block on the kickoff.
Running the crossing route. Anytime you come in and pick off a defender, you have to do a better acting job than that.
If you can get away with it, it's a good move, and if you don't, you're going to get penalized.
It is, dude. I mean, that looked just like a block right there. You want to throw your hands up, make it look like Matakavich bumped him off of his route, but a good situation for the Steelers.
All right, so Allen now, shotgun formation, fires and has his receiver there, makes a move around Brian Allen, and that's good enough for some additional yardage. Another flag flies. Bailey was the receiver on that play. 12 yards if it stands.
Personal foul, face mask, defense number 31. 15 yards will be added to the end of the play, first down.
Nat Burhay.
This is something I always harped upon. You have the stiff arm by the receiver here. That causes the face mask. I mean, I don't know what to do in that situation. If you're not going to call it on one, why call it on the other?
Well, some would argue it's better to go tackle down low as opposed to trying to invite the stiff arm. I don't know. Burhay's a veteran. He's been around, but you can't do it. They're going to call that every time. But it all started with a missed tackle by Brian Allen, too. Here comes Shugan trying to get to the outside now, and Allen is going down. Levon Hooks, who's played well. We got another flag, and that's going to be on the Steelers for what? Piling on there, roughness on the quarterback. But Hooks was the man. He's had a really good camp here, but there's no room for him on the defensive line. That's a loss of 8, but.
After the play was over, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, defense number 46. 15 yards, automatic, first down.
Matthew Thomas, the guilty party.
That's something. Hooks is at the bottom of that pile there. He's working to get to the quarterback. This play collapses. He's not letting go. He has the sack. Quarterback is down with the knee. And Thomas comes in late with the hit to the quarterback.
Yeah, you have to avoid this.
Yeah, you have to. Down. He comes in right there, and of course the referee right there to call a play. But you just talked about it. Hooks, this is a guy at Ole Miss on the practice squad last year. There's not many spots available on this roster, but this is a guy who's very athletic in the middle of the field there.
Yes, he is, but you know, you already have that pretty well set up. I think Josh Frazier's a guy, a Trav pick this year out of Alabama. They'll probably end up having him if they can on the practice squad because Daniel McCullers has earned a spot, and he has been better this year.
Yes, he has. And that was something that the Carl Dunbar, new defensive line coach, he wanted more out of him. And they've been working. He was hustling in that Eagles game. This guy was running all over the field, and they really like exactly where he's at right now, and that's something that this organization wants to, and they expect more from the colors.
Second down for Kyle Allen now. Out of Houston. Goes to Barner, makes the catch, but Thomas is there immediately, wraps him up, along with Matakevich, who always is around the football. Only a gain of 4. Matakevich, when he was at Temple, was a tackle machine. Set all sorts of Temple records.
He did, and he felt right at home, of course, in that first preseason game when they were playing the Eagles in Lincoln Financial. But he's just trying to continue to pick up. He's understanding the calls. He's becoming more vocal in the middle of the field, something that's needed. But will he get more opportunities throughout the regular season? That remains to be seen.
It's a long season, too, and injuries do factor in. Here comes pressure from the outside. Allen delivers, looking for a receiver who's covered by Deshaun Phillips. And apparently Moses Frazier was looking back there for some sort of flag. It didn't come, and Phillips had the position. But there was contact, Charlie. You never know.
No, you knew where he wanted to go with the ball. Phillips doesn't make the contact. Unfortunately, Frazier's trying to undercut the football. He would have got the call if he leans into the defender, but just enough. Phillips is looking back, but that's a nice play, breaking up that play, putting the field goal team for a long field goal here. What is this, 52?
Graham Gano is 54.
54.
54 yards. Now his career best is 59 yards. Last year was a Pro Bowl season. He made 29 of 30. Let's see what he does here. It's up, it's on target, and it's good with room to spare from 54 yards.
Just mentioned
so Graham,
59.
That's his career high, and that would have been good from 59 or 60. Carolina back on the board, trail by 15. Hey, mark this down. October the 5th, Rock Steelers Style. A signature night, your 2018 Steelers suit up along with their families and special guest from American Idol, Gabby Barrett, all for a good cause. Rock Steelers Style, Friday, October the 5th, Stage AE. For tickets, visit Steelers.com. I always have a blast emceeing that affair, and those guys out there with their families, it's really a cool night. So mark it down on your calendars. By the way, I'm updating my little Twitter poll here at KD Pomp, at CharlieBatch16 about which quarterback you think. It started today 60-40 Jones. It's now 57-43 Dobbs, which goes to show you. Now Quadri Henderson wanted a chance, and look what happens.
And that's something right here. When you make a 54-yard field goal, of course you're feeling good about yourself, and you're going to kick that ball through the end zone.
Graham Gano with a very active leg. And he's been really good for them ever since he came here after 2 other stops that didn't go so well. So Mason Rudolph continues for the Steelers. 9:48 left, third quarter. 25-10. Rudolph with a touchdown pass. A really good pass into a small window to Jones, his second of the game. Bucky Hodges, who has a big reception tonight on that first touchdown drive, is in motion. Handoff. Not much there as the Carolina defense stops Ridley for only 3 yards.
That's it. You're going to see a lot of bleeding of this clock here in the second half. But when you talk about just rushing the football against this Carolina Panthers defense, the Panthers have not allowed a 100-yard rusher in 20 straight games. So they know how to get after the football, or at least make you one-dimensional.
They certainly do, and they also have, you know, when you talk about front fours in football, you're not going to find many better than what they offer there. Not much doing there because Eric Washington is their defensive coordinator. He's been their defensive line coach, and since 2012, no group of defensive linemen have produced more sacks than Carolina. All right, now it's time to check out the Mercyhurst University Rookie Report. Mason Rudolph with the pass, Charlie. That doesn't get any better than that.
That's it. Understanding coverages, knowing where the seam is going to be, and they were able to connect with a big touchdown.
24 yards to Jones. The Rookie Report brought to you by Mercyhurst University. Carp Diem sees the day. Yeah, 219 sacks since 2012. They actually lead the NFL in sacks as a team, but of that, 219 from the defensive line. And there's a sack right there. Getting into the backfield was Deshaun Hall out of Texas A&M, a third-round pick from last year. He's one of those guys on that line.
Busting protection just allows a guy to run free. Not much Mason Rudolph could do in that situation. But you just mentioned, you talked about Carolina. I mean, look what they have on the other side. Julius Peppers. This is a guy who knows how to get after the quarterback. 11 sacks last year.
How about that? At age, what is he, 36, 37?
36, 37, and has 154 on his career. If you combine that with Bud Dupree and T.J. Watt, they only have 21 and a half on their career.
All right, here's Matt Weil trying to make this roster. His kick taken by Kenyon Barner. That's a 50-yard kick. Barner now trying to get flags fly, and that's great special teams coverage. Franklin there. A lot of people there in that play. That's only a minus 2-yard return. Really good coverage. Also Marcus Allen, number 27 back there.
All indications it should be against Carolina.
It seems rare the kickoff or the return that doesn't get a flag these days. And I think players are still trying to learn.
I was just about to say that they're adjusting to the new rules. A lot of conversation.
Sean Hockley, the man in charge here tonight.
Personal foul, face mask, kicking team number 37. That 15-yard foul will be ended to the end of the play. First down, timeout.
So Dangerfield gets caught on that one. It goes the other way against the Steelers. Carolina in business when we come back. Hey, Steeler fans, let's check out the Ticketmaster Fan Cam. Steeler fans, the most loyal in the NFL, and Ticketmaster helps them follow the Steelers everywhere they go, whether home or away. When you want Steeler tickets, visit Ticketmaster.com/Steelers and pick your seats. Ticketmaster.com/Steelers. Carolina with good field position. Reggie Bonifant in the game now. Behind Kyle Allen. And he gets the carry and not much doing there. Good original pressure right up the middle there by Levon Hooks. We've called his name a lot in this preseason.
This is a guy up front I just described out of Ole Miss. Spent time on the practice squad last year. And of course there weren't many options or at least opportunities on the defensive front just because you have 6 returners coming back. But he wants to go out here and prove that he can continue to play.
Keith Butler and his defense looking to vastly improve this year. They got a lot of young, hungry secondary members who want to get an opportunity to wrap people up. And there's a nice play right there by number 74. Casey Sales. Again, no gain at Ohio University.
You have a lot of MAC guys on this field or on this team, but that's a nice play. Just understanding where his gap is at, and he's able to make that play.
When he was at Ohio U as a member of the Bobcats, they called him an explosive defensive tackle. He had 11.5 sacks for a guy on the defensive line in his final year, but again, very difficult to get a job at the next level. Allen has his man wrapped up immediately. Nice tackle there by Malik Golden, and that goes to Evan Bayless. Gain of 4, and again, good sure-handed tackle.
That's it, understanding what the offense needs. You sit back, force the underthrow, you go up and make the tackle, and that was a nice job.
All right, so Quadri Henderson will get another opportunity as Michael Pilardi will kick it away. Henderson brought here for some explosive ability. He certainly had it at the University of Pittsburgh, and he left a little early after his junior season, even though, you know, he didn't get drafted. Felt this was the time to do it. Fair catch. And he makes it just across the 15 to the 16-yard line, 31 yards, no return. And the Steelers will get the ball back on offense, leading by 15. 5:49 left, third quarter. Steelers back with the football when we return to Heinz Field. Hey, just released the Steelers Nike Men's Air Max Taifa 2. This new Nike training shoe is now available in men's and women's styles exclusively online at the Steelers Pro Shop. Complete your sideline look in the head-to-toe gear of your favorite player. Check out shop.steelers.com right now. Rudolph zings it in and out of the hands of Jones, who has 2 touchdowns tonight, covered there by Ladarius Gunter. Good throw, though, it looked like.
It was a good throw. He found the window. Jones looked like he was stopped, trying to throttle into the zone. He was just not able to convert or connect in that situation.
Carolina has new ownership as many people around the NFL welcome in David Tepper, who's from Pittsburgh. Stanton Heights, went to Peabody High School, the principal owner of this team, and made a bid of $2.2 billion to get his hands on it after he was a limited partner owner here for the Steelers since 2009. And he's had a wonderful contribution to CMU and Pitt, various donations, the Tepper School of Business there, so we wish him well. And wanted to own a team.
Absolutely.
Got the wherewithal to do it.
Offense. Got penalties declined. The result of the play brings up 3rd down.
Got a chance to know him over the years. Fantastic person. And he does a lot for Pittsburgh. And he's
he does.
very humble about it as well. He doesn't like to talk about it.
No, but he's contributed mightily to so many different causes, and he's made a lot of money, but he's given a lot back. And now he wants to take this team. I know they need a new practice facility. He also would like to bring a professional soccer team to Charlotte. The new president he hired is from Manchester Football Club, so that may set the thing in motion. Here's Mason Rudolph now, zinging, finding, has his receiver, Quadri Henderson. First opportunity we've seen him really in the passing game, and that's going to be good for 1st down yardage, a gain of 17.
That's it, reading coverage, understanding one-on-one on the outside. He's able to get open, like you just mentioned. First opportunity here. They've been using him on some gadget plays, a couple rushing attempts, but nice job getting his head around. Making a catch and getting, he was excited about it.
He really was. He was used a lot by Pat Narduzzi on end arounds. His speed is certainly an asset. Rudolph drops straight back now. Looks and finds his man, Teven Jones, who's had a big night. Gets away from 1, gets away from 2, waits for Bucky Hodges, who blows away some people. Nice play by Hodges, who comes down, joins the freight, and knocks 2 guys back 39 yards to Teven Jones.
Nice hustle by Bucky Hodges here, but Mason Rudolph feels the pressure. Double clutches enough to get it off on the in route, and you can see Jones just working with his guy. Beats his first tackle here, and he realizes, here come Hodges, get behind my guy. And what a block.
Hodges took 2 guys. I'm telling you, the guy is motivated to play. He realizes there could be a spot on this roster given the injuries, and Jones now with 3 catches for 90 yards, 2 touchdowns. He also had a drop in the end zone. Still a big night. Rudolph fires, and there's some contact there going to Jones. Flags fly, and we do have a call from one of the line judges over there, and that's going to be potential interference on Carolina.
Pass interference. Defense number 33. The ball will be placed at the spot of the foul. Automatic 1st down.
This one here won't show up in the stat line, but huge play here. Skinny route on time. Mason knows where he wants to go with the football. He gets held here on the outside, and it sets up 1st and 10 in the red zone.
So Alex Carter is the man who's caught there, out of Stanford, 3rd round pick of the Lions back in 2015. And this goes to show you, he epitomizes what it's like. This is his 6th NFL team in just 3 years.
When the Lions came to Latrobe a couple years ago, he was on the Lions roster.
Handoff, actually faked to Tucson. It looks like another touchdown that was dropped right there by Pharaoh McKeever, who was there on a quick slant by the tight end.
That's one right there. You're finding a small window. The ball, I mean, that's a nice job by Rudolph. And Pharaoh, this is a converted defensive lineman at Florida International. So trying to give him the benefit of the doubt, but right here, this one here hits him in the hands. It looks like he wants to start to celebrate. He's just not able to finish the play.
That's 2 drop touchdown passes by the Steelers tonight. Good throw once again by Rudolph, who's finding these windows and zinging the ball in there. Fitzgerald Tucson brought down by his ankles there by number 53 Ben Jacobs and number 55 David Mayo. Tucson has had a good training camp.
He really has, and a lot of people were looking to see if he gets to that back-on-backers drill, how he was going to do picking up that blitzing linebacker. He actually held his own. And, of course, it's an unfavorable drill to the linebackers because there's no lineman sitting in front of him. But he did a nice job of holding his own and was able to prove or show to Coach Tomlin that he's able to pick up that blitz.
3rd and goal now for Rudolph. Steelers looking to add more points on that scoreboard tonight. Rudolph rolling to his right, eyes down the field, throws to Quadri Henderson, who goes up with one hand and says, "Thank you very much. It's my first NFL touchdown for number 10 out of the University of Pittsburgh." That's a 7-yard connection.
Rudolph just feeling pressure, nothing downfield, just working. And now you want your receivers to work with you on the scramble drill. Realize in the middle of the field, something you don't teach a quarterback to do, throw across your body, but all of that 5'8" frame from Henderson extends, makes a play.
Quadri Henderson led the Panthers last year with 1,204 all-purpose yards. He returned 4 kickoffs and 3 punts, 7 of those special teams during his career. Really tremendous difference maker. And he gets his first pro touchdown. I realize it's a preseason game. He'll remember that one. Wherever his future is, if it's here, if it's someplace else, if it's a practice squad, a lot of options. One hand, baby. We'll be back with more. Steelers add to their lead 32-10. Once again, Steeler fans, don't miss your chance to see the 2018 Hall of Honor induction ceremony Friday, September the 28th, right here at Heinz Field. Be there as the Steelers formally induct Rocky Bleier, Alan Faneca, Art Rooney Jr., Bill Nunn, and Buddy Dial. Visit Steelers.com for more. Should be a wonderful event. It was last year. And, of course, they'll be honored during that weekend's game as well. Austin Duke retreats into his own end zone. That ball is out of play. A good kick there by Boswell. And it'll come out to the 25-yard line. That's where Carolina goes to work.
And Bob, our timelines are flooding on Twitter right now because people are talking about those barbecue ribs that we have.
The ones you ate and the ones I can only watch and smell, in other words.
And people are asking, am I going to eat the ribs live on TV? I think so. If we would get to that portion of it, of course. You
have a nice tie and shirt. You're going to risk it all, aren't you? Plus your beard, you'll catch some of that
I'm looking for a bib right now.
Sauce.
I'm looking for a bib.
You'll have plenty of time, Charlie. All right, Kyle Allen remains in the game, the undrafted free agent out of Houston. Down there, they like to sling the ball all over the place. So Carolina was intrigued by that. Fires. Nice hit, wrap up on Evan Bayless. Gain of 11 yards.
There you go, just for you, Bob, right here.
Yeah, that's all I can do is ever smell them. I can't have.
They want to make sure. They want to make sure that you have your fresh.
Well, if they're going to bring that up, I invite them. Come on down, come on up. We'll devour that after the game. Because you do get hungry after 4 hours up here, don't you?
Absolutely.
Well, the Steeler offense has been hungry tonight, no doubt. A lot of these young kids. You know, if you don't think preseason football is worth watching in the fourth game, just look at this game. There's been a lot of stuff going on. These players are playing for their very lives. 13 yards once again to Bayless on that play by Allen. But this is what it's all about. It's competition. You may remember a guy's career and where it started based on a game like this. We talked about Antonio Brown. Ross Ventrone did it. Others.
And everybody understands this may be the last 17 minutes of your career, but you go out here and you play hard.
Keon Adams right there, number 99, to make that play. Not much gain on the play by Kenyon Barner back in the game. Only 2 yards.
But the beauty about this, though, all the starters who are watching, they understand this process. Some of them were out there on that field, so they know how hard these guys are working. And these guys are celebrating with these guys as they make plays. So it's just as important to those guys because they know people's careers may continue elsewhere. Some people may not continue their career after this game.
Keon Adams was 7th-round pick last year, missed all of last season with a shoulder injury, but now he's back and gives a lot of depth there for the Steelers. Thomas trying to get by his man. Here comes the pressure. It forces Allen to throw the ball away, and the bookend linebackers there came in, closed the door. Casey Sales also with some pressure.
You see a lot of these guys right now playing special teams. They're getting winded right now. Matthew Thomas was coming off the edge. He typically beats a running back in that. Talked about the back-on-backers drill. He's able to beat the running back, and he just didn't have any energy at all. Nothing left in the tank to get around a running back in that situation.
All right, so 3rd and 8. Keith Butler still engaging these guys. Tell them to come up with a play here. 32-10 Steelers. First half did a lot of damage. Scored the first 14 points of this game. Engineered by Josh Dobbs, in case you joined us late. 3-yard touchdown and then a 27-yard hook up to Teven Jones, who's had a couple tonight. This one goes to Bailey, and he gets first down yardage, trailed by Matakevich, but Rasheed Bailey does get enough to move the chains, a gain of 10.
Matakevich, you understand the route that's getting ready to happen. Just it's a tough matchup when you're matched up with the receiver running a crossing route.
All right, so the Carolina Panthers now at the 39-yard line. Allen goes to the outside. That's intercepted, or is it? No, they say it hit the ground. And it was there for Jamar Summers, who was looking for his first interception. The kid out of UConn, who doesn't get a lot of playing time, but he jumped that pretty well.
Jumped it pretty well, and that's one right there. You need to learn from a veteran guy. You should have picked up, got up off the ground and started running with the football and try to sell it as if you caught the pass. And right there you can see him just standing up. Did I think I had it, Brett? I think I had it.
Well, today replay will make sure you don't get that. But, hey, you never know. Get up, do it.
And force the ref to blow the whistle and stop you.
But it was good instinctive play there by Summers. This is a quick hitter. Deshaun Phillips comes in, blitzes, knocks the ball away. Number 35, who got burned in that Sheldon Gibson touchdown we saw in Philadelphia. But this time he came on a blitz and knocked it right down.
He did. That's taking one out of Cody Sensabaugh earlier in the game. Coming off, understanding it's a screen. Just get enough on it and bat the football down. You mentioned the play in the Philadelphia game where he got burned. Mike Tomlin challenged him the next week, and he says, listen, I don't care what happened in the game. I want to see how you respond. In the last 2 weeks, he continued to get better.
It's all about growth. The Steelers, I'll say this about their franchise, they're very patient, too, in developing guys, and they're willing to wait if you see progress.
As a cornerback, mindset has to be like a quarterback. Quickly forget.
Allen, nobody open downfield, tries now rolling to his right across the 40, 35-yard line, pushed out of bounds there by Keon Adams, who trailed the play. That's good for 7 yards, and it's going to be short of first down yardage.
That's one right there. As the quarterback's running, you didn't know how to tackle him. If you hit him too hard, it's a penalty. Guys are just saying if you're going to run out of bounds, go out, run out of bounds. But of course, when you realize that as a quarterback, you're going to dive and try to get a couple more yards just because defenders can't hit you.
All right, 4th down now, a test for this unit. Steeler defensively against the rookie Kyle Allen out of Houston, who's been in here large percentage of this 3rd quarter. Flicks it to Barner. Barner gets around Thomas, who pushes him out of bounds. Nice little pass and catch. 4 seconds left in the quarter. 13 yards on the completion, and time will run out with Carolina driving but trailing by 22 points. So the Steelers add to their lead on a touchdown by Quadri Henderson on a nice throwback and a one-hand grab by number 10. 32-10 as we enter the 4th quarter when we return to Heinz Field.
Steelers preseason football presented by Xfinity. Change the way you experience TV with Xfinity X1. By Pepsi, the official soft drink of the Pittsburgh Steelers. And by the Pennsylvania Lottery. Play the Steelers fast play game from the Pennsylvania Lottery. Players must be 18 or older. Please play responsibly.
All right, we're back. 4th quarter just about to begin in Heinz Field. Steelers up by 22. It's Kyle Allen under pressure, and it's taken away there by Matthew Thomas. He has the ball across midfield. Thomas has got great speed for a linebacker, and will he win the race? Yes! No! Where are they marking it? At the 1-yard line, a 74-yard return by Matthew Thomas. I thought he was going for a linebacker. The guy can motor. One of the things they like about him.
He got out fast, but of course, when you have the running back chasing him down, he just didn't have enough to reach. But either way, fantastic play by Thomas here. Realizing ball's up in the air. He actually gets the sack. And the fumble return, here you go.
There's your Gus's pick of the game. Brought to you by the Pennsylvania Lottery. That's a big hitter in the lottery. I thought he got in, but his knee was down. Good hustle there by, I believe it was Bonifon, who was in the backfield. He just chased him down, but that's a great amount of speed for Thomas. They're calling it a fumble, and it was a strip sack fumble and then a return.
Is under further review.
It's under review, but either way, the ball never hit the ground.
The ball never hit the ground, unless they were wanting to look where the ball is at the goal line. We'll find out. Mike Tomlin seems to be indicating it could be a touchdown. We'll see what they say when we come back. All right, we're back, and they have looked at this, and they've come to a conclusion. His knee was down. Actually, knee was down before he got across the goal line. It'll be marked at the 1-yard line, so that call stands. The Steelers thought he might have gotten in, but nonetheless, a wonderful effort single-handedly by Matt Thomas out of Florida State University.
That's a great individual performance, and if you remember the interception or the big play by the Packers, he graded out by running the fastest on the Steelers on that particular play, even though it was an unfortunate situation for the Steelers.
Jarvion Franklin now in the game. First time tonight. Kid out of Western Michigan. Here we go, Charlie. Take a look at the replay.
You see coming down, just wasn't able to time it out, but he's just running out of gas at that point. Of course, his knees are down, ball at the 1-yard line. But Matthew Thomas, he's raised some eyebrows around here last week against the Titans. He was playing in a number of different packages earlier in the ball game. They want to test his speed, and I think that play right there could have possibly solidified his position on this team.
I would agree, and I also think of Daney. Both those kids, undrafted, both should make the roster. Here's Franklin up the middle, nice blocking at the point of attack, and Jarvion Franklin turns it into points, a 1-yard touchdown. He's happy about that, and the Steelers now add to the lead.
Franklin, one-cut downhill guy, gets there, and of course, look at him, get off of me. Celebrating right here. Nice job out of Western Michigan.
Really good surge right there by the Steeler offense. In particular, Larson Graham, number 61 out of Duquesne University, a 4-year starter for Jerry Schmidt and his team. And boy, has Jerry Schmidt put together a nice program over on the Bluff. He made 46 straight starts, did Larson Graham. And he had a nice little block right there. So this to make it 39-10 as the Steelers really open it up early in the fourth quarter. And it's a point to be noted, since that Packers game where the Steelers gave up 51 but 37 on defense, the last 7 quarters, the Steelers have given up just 16 points defensively. So they have certainly taken that Mike Tomlin challenge, and they have been real good since. All right, Joshua Dobbs, the player of the game. He goes to Bucky Hodges right there for a nice touchdown, which set up his own touchdown run. That athleticism, that leaping ability, that made it 7-0. And then he scrambles, finds an open Tevin Jones, the first of 2. He is our FiOS player of the game, brought to you by FiOS. Make your home 100% phenomenal.
All over the place. Joshua Dobbs added 3 carries, 18 yards as well. This is a guy that really wanted to go out here and prove that he doesn't want to go anywhere. He belongs in this league, and he did a nice job of coming out here under the pressure and performing very well.
Really has. He should have had another touchdown. One was dropped in the end zone. So, and all week he was excited, you know, Charlie. And you can tell a guy who's just going to say, look, I'm getting out there and I'm happy about what I'm going to do. Regardless of the outcome, I'm going to give it my best and see what happens.
And that's all you can ask for. I mean, coming into this game, he was 21 of 31, 283 yards, 3 touchdowns. He adds another one. And it just seems like he continues to get better each and every game. And that's all he wants to do. And this is the time that you go out here and get the experience, because you know come next week, Ben Roethlisberger is no doubt the starter, and he will take every single rep.
Austin Duke going nowhere. The Steelers special teams, which have been solid all the way through this preseason. Malik Golden was there, along with Reeves.
And as a young guy, this is where you get your opportunities here to go out here and play, especially from the quarterback position. And interested to hear your thoughts as we move forward as we start talking about the schedule, some of your bold predictions throughout this season.
Danny Smith, there's a guy who's happy about what he's seen so far. Only thing he didn't like tonight, he was shaking his head when Boswell used his head to make a tackle and the helmet came ripped off. But he's done a wonderful job here in Pittsburgh, Danny Smith. All right, we'll talk about the schedule, because it is a first-place schedule, and the Steelers do have New England. They're the only team in their division that has to play New England this year, although it is here. Brian Allen makes the tackle there. They also have road trips, Charlie, to New Orleans, to Oakland, to Jacksonville, to Tampa Bay, not to mention Carolina coming here. Your thoughts about what you see?
Yeah, it's a tough schedule. Of course, you have Atlanta coming in here as well. You don't know what Kansas City team that you're going to get here with the new quarterback with 2 games experience coming in here. And, of course, always Baltimore is Baltimore. But I just think it's going to be a challenging season. If they can keep everybody healthy, I think this is an 11-win team. Maybe 12, depending on how things go, but we're sure 11.
Yeah, I think it's their division to lose. I would look at the Steelers as the team in the division once again, but for this team it goes beyond that now. It goes into the postseason where you take this. Sports Illustrated has predicted that they will get to the Super Bowl. But they also predicted they lose to Atlanta. But you want to get there? It's on CBS this year. We'd be happy to see that happen.
Right, and this is something here. Of course, last year it was, figuring out a way to get through New England, and you had that game home. You lost, and of course you didn't finish it off with Jacksonville here in the playoff game, and of course it left a bitter taste in everybody's mouth.
You also get teams. Oh, nice sandwich hit right there by Allen and Fort. The completion is made, and it's for 3 yards, and it will be first down yardage.
You look at tough. You still have to go to Jacksonville. At Denver, you don't know what Denver team you're
even the
get.
Los Angeles Chargers.
At the Raiders.
That could be a team that's, you're always going to have teams that surprise you too.
Right.
That you don't expect. Like Jacksonville last year was one of them. I don't think many people thought they'd get to the AFC Championship game, but they did. Cleveland is one that people seem to think going to make a drastic turnaround. I'm not ready to say that. I think they'll be better than what they were. There's Allen with a nice read, keeper, and he slides to get first down yardage.
I think Reed, when he looks at, or Allen, when he looks at this play
Timeout for
tomorrow, he may actually have a chance if he stays on his feet. He could have broke that tackle.
Well, Malik Golden out of Penn State. Man that Tom Bradley recruited there, and he's liked what he's done, but he's down in pain. We'll be back right after this. We're back, and it's never good to see the medical cart come to the field, but Malik Golden's in a lot of pain and being helped off. Here's what happened, Charlie.
He's hit by friendly fire as Marcus Allen is trying to make the play here.
Oh,
tough to look at.
Yeah, it is. Allen came in and was going at a big rate of speed right there, and just, what are you going to do? It's part of the game. Kid is in severe pain, though. It's really difficult to watch as he was down on the ground, but everybody coming over and talking to him. Mike Tomlin's been out there most of the time.
Marcus Allen, he feels bad.
Yeah, he does. He's an emotional player and a fellow Penn Stater as well. He was just trying to make a play, and it just, as you said, friendly fire. It happens.
That's tough. You see Mike Tomlin trying to get him to refocus.
Well, Malik Golden was an undrafted guy last year, impressed them enough to be around. Continued through camp here and took advantage of whatever time he had, and that's a sad way to see a season end if it does. All right, it's 1st and 10, 39-10. Steelers up. Kyle Allen now. Throws it. Oh, and it goes right in and out of the hands of Bug Howard. Seemed to have his man beat there. I don't know if a hand got in the way or not, but Howard was there, and the ball seemed to be right on the money.
You see his linebackers were dropping. There was no way they thought that pass was going to be completed behind them, and they're looking to drive on an underneath route, and he was able to fit that ball in there. Should have been caught.
He's a big guy. Howard at 6'4", 214. Played with North Carolina with Mitch Trubisky, with Ryan Switzer, and that offense that came back and beat Pitt that one day, 37-36. This one almost picked up by Brian Allen, who's been gambling a lot in this preseason. Instead, it goes to Austin Duke for the completion. Allen gambled in Green Bay and lost when Kumaro took it 82 yards, and he went for another pick right there.
If you undercut it, you have to come up with the ball. The ball just went through his hands. Nice job breaking on the ball.
That was a pick six if he held on to it. There was nobody there. But I think Brian Allen has shown that what a year hanging around the system, learning every single day, and what it does, because you've seen big improvement from him. Over the middle, it goes to Bailey, who takes a hit right there. And we're going to flag on Marcus Allen at that hit, 14 yards. Will this be under the helmet?
Yeah, the back just threw the flag immediately. That's one there. He's trying to get low to make a play.
So is the runner, though.
Yeah, I don't know how much lower that the defender can go to make a tackle. Marcus Allen, he's 6'3", getting that low, and we'll watch it on the replay here soon.
Foul. Lowering the helmet to initiate contact, defense number 27. Half the distance to the goal, first down.
You see Marcus Allen
Marcus
Allen right now is pleading his case. What is he supposed to do? He's trying to come up and make a tackle. 16, receiver getting down and.
Yeah, I don't know how you do that, because look where the runner is at this point. He's down. How do you tackle him if he's going down like that?
They're both on their knees. Very tough to play defense in the NFL nowadays.
Unless they thought it was an intentional strike. I thought that was just part of making a play, and I thought they may soften that rule a little bit, but apparently not. It's going to be one of those things, bone of contention early on in the regular season as well. There's a touchdown pass, maybe, as they get closer to the goal line. A nice play there. 14 yards on the hook up to the man who chased down Matthew Thomas, Reggie Bonifon.
He catches the ball 2 yards. He puts his foot in the ground. You have two defenders there. They have to make this tackle right. He's able to split, makes one miss, 2, 3.
He got a lot farther than they should have.
Dangerfield's cleaning up.
And now we do have a touchdown run. The official 2-yard touchdown by Bonifon. That's his reward for, and I think Rivera went up to him. I saw on the sideline after that running down of Thomas and said, I like that effort, and maybe he's going to play him more, but he got an opportunity, and he gets a catch, and now the touchdown to get Carolina their second of the game.
It's going to be interesting to see if the referee gets a buzz here from the top. He's pointing over to his replay guy.
Still looking.
Yeah, he's still looking. They're trying to go because it looked like the running back looked like he was down a little short, but you can't figure out where the ball is at.
Well, they're going to take their time with this one. Watch his knee.
Ball's in the right hand, left hip goes down.
No, he did.
Right there, butt is
Where's
down.
The ball? It looks like it's in. I think it'll be good.
Not enough to overturn it, even if you do go look at it.
So it is a touchdown. Bonifon with Graham Gano adding the point after. It's now 39-17 with 10:07 remaining in the fourth quarter. Again, roster cuts will be made by Saturday. They got to get from 90 to 53. Always a difficult challenge. We continue after this. We're back and in time for our Honda drive of the game. It's Mason Rudolph getting things done with a slant to Quadri Henderson. Teven Jones, who's had a big night, makes a nice catch. Got a nice block there by Bucky Hodges as he never quit on that play. And then he looks back and it's Henderson with a one-hand snag. That's your Honda drive of the game, brought to you by Honda. Discover Honda. The honor is ours. The value is yours. Henderson is back to receive this kickoff, looking to do something on special teams, although Gano's leg has been really strong, and he's going to do. This is what I thought he should have done earlier. Why not? Give it a whirl. Show your talents. Henderson gets to the 20. That'll go as a 29-yard return, but he took it all the way back in the end, so why not?
That's one of those. We've been talking about this since the first preseason game against the Eagles. I understand, yes, for the team's sake, you want to take it to the 25, but individually, you have to try to go out there and make a play, and he was trying to do that. And, of course, all you have to do is go to Coach Tomlin when you're walking to the sideline saying, Coach, I'm just trying to make a play. That's all.
I think he probably would encourage that at this point. That last drive, by the way, was 9 plays, 80 yards for Kyle Allen. 4:01 expired, a 2-yard run by Bonifon. Steelers up by 22 with the ball. 10 minutes left in this football game and the preseason. It all begins on September the 9th at Cleveland, just as it did last year. Desmond Southward comes up, makes the stop there on Franklin, who scored a touchdown earlier. That was a gain of 3 yards. But then after that Cleveland game, it's home opener right here, September the 16th against Kansas City. Then a game at Tampa on a Monday night, but without Jameis Winston, who will be suspended for that game.
So I know I came up, I said 11 or 12. I didn't get your pick as far as
11
wins.
sounds right, but I think it's going to be more difficult than you think just because of first place schedule. When you have some of these teams, especially the traveling. Now, last year the Steelers hardly ever traveled anywhere beyond, this Eastern time zone.
Right.
All of a sudden you have trips to New Orleans, to Denver, to Oakland. Got a flag on the play as Franklin carries there, only gets 1 yard.
illegal formation, offense. That penalty's declined, 3rd down.
Some really good home games, though, to look at. Not just Cleveland, Baltimore, Cincinnati. And I think Cincinnati could be better than people are giving them credit for. You got Carolina here on a Thursday night, November the 8th. Of course, you got the big weekend with the Hall of Honor coming up on September 28th. And the 30th will be a night game with the Ravens in town. Those are always physical and as good as it gets when it comes to physicality.
Alumni game is Sunday, December 2nd against the Chargers. A lot of exciting things going on at home this year.
So when you look at New England, do you think they're going to take a step back or not? A lot of people think they will, but you know, Tom Brady is still engineering at a very high level at age 41.
He is, but when you're playing in that AFC East, of course, it's their division. It's just a matter of how many games out front they're going to be. And they typically get off to a good start to create separation as the season goes on.
Austin Duke back to pick up this punt, but it goes out of bounds, and that's where Carolina will have it. Missy Matthews, the Steelers are not going to keep 4 quarterbacks, but there was a time when they did. Let's go down to you with some thought about that.
Yeah, the last time that happened for the Steelers, guys, was in 1995. I have to give credit to my colleague Bob Labriola for telling me this fun fact. That was Cordell Stewart's rookie year. You had Neil O'Donnell, Mike Tomczak, Cordell, and Jim Miller was the guy they thought wasn't going to make the squad, but the Steelers decided to keep 4. To be fair, though, Neil O'Donnell and Mike Tomczak were both in the final years of their contracts. Will it happen again? Only time will tell. Cutdowns, of course, happening on Saturday by 4 p.m. Guys, back up to you.
Thanks, Missy. Thank you, Labs, for that. And yes, it's always difficult to do, but you got to look at all your positions and try to figure out. Now, I think, Charlie, talking about the tight end, this could play into who makes what roster. We have seen Jalen Samuels, who's been a, kind of jack of all trades. He can actually line up there if need be. Not that you'd rely on him to, but if everybody's injured, what do you do? You're
right, and he did a lot of that at NC State where he lined up as that H-back. But can he block in that position? We don't know because he hasn't done it much. So it's just one of those things you just don't know because right now it's a question mark at your tight ends based off Vance McDonald and Xavier Grimble.
Keep in mind, no team kept 4 quarterbacks last year. As you cited, most of them threw like a 50-50 split as the ball's thrown behind. We got a penalty flag thrown at the last minute there.
And one of those points that Missy made, of course, is final year of a contract,
which is Landry Jones' situation.
30. The ball will be placed at the spot of the foul.
The choice will have to come to, does this make sense? Number one, it comes down to experience for Landry Jones versus whether they believe Josh Dobbs can handle being a backup.
Right. And when you see right now, you see the pass interference by
Summers.
That's Summers there. But when you look back, and of course, a lot of things going on at the quarterback position, but all 4 of them can play.
They can.
And it's just based off where Mason Rudolph was at in the draft. I didn't think they went in targeting a quarterback, but they had him rated as a first-round talent.
Here comes the blitz by the Steelers up the middle. It's dumped off to Bailey. Jordan Dangerfield gets him down by the ankles. Nice tackle there in the open field. That's a gain of 8.
So of course, as you look at this roster, how many do you keep at each unit? And the people who are actually on this team now, do they survive the cuts, or will they be new names coming in here next week?
I think the Steelers, they have gone with another read option there by Allen, but I think they have shown where they can go with 5 running backs, but I think this year 4 will be the number. Le'Veon Bell, James Conner, along with Jalen Samuels and Rosie Nix.
And Matthew Thomas is down on the other side.
Oh, that's not good. Thomas down. In case you joined us later and missed the second half, he had a strip sack fumble return of, I don't know how many yards that was again, but it was 75 or 4 yards, and he got knocked down right at the 1-yard line. Steelers thought it might have been a touchdown, but it did set up one. So they tend to.
This one here looks like it's cramps, based off the way that they were looking after him. But this is a guy who played the entire game. And I mentioned the one pass rush where it looked like he was gassed, and he just didn't have anything left. But this is what happens on a humid day like this. You're not playing your starter, so there's not a lot of rotation going on. At this point in the game right here, your condition is being tested.
Matthew Thomas way back when was the #1 linebacking recruit in the country coming out of high school. He had some, off the field issues that he was dealing with, a suspension, some injuries, and he never did, live up to that potential as that guy. And he dropped all the way down to being undrafted this year. But two-time ACC champ with Florida State, the potential is there. I don't think there's ever a question about that. It's just, can he put it all together?
And that's it. And that's a lot of questions that players have on this team. Can they put it all together for a full season, because they never had the opportunity to do so. But one thing about it, he played at a big program, ACC, Florida State. There's no question about the talent that he went against. What you see on tape is what you get.
By the way, Ola Adeni is also out now with a hamstring, and Damon Patterson has turf toe. So, again, this all figures in on who makes what, although the good news there, Thomas looks fine. Like you said, it probably was a little bit of a calf.
You think how hot it is. I know you're training college differently at Florida State, where it's always hot, it's always humid. Coming up here, trust me, he'll try to shake that off and get back out there on the field.
All right, back to action. Steelers up 39-17. Now 6:50 left in this football game and the preseason. Once again, blitz is on. Allen looks into the end zone, and a diving attempt there goes incomplete with Brian Allen in coverage, and that is once again Rasheed Bailey, who let it out there but just couldn't make the catch.
Nice job of getting in position, but again, that's quarterback being a little afraid because of the size of Brian Allen right there. You have to get it over top of him, placing the ball perfectly, and that worked out for the Steelers.
When they brought this kid in, Allen, they liked his arm and his ability to throw the ball down the field, and he's shown that here tonight in this game. Second down now for number 7. Here comes L.J. Fort. Can't get there. Pass instead goes complete, and it's Bonifant out of the backfield, and he gains 9 on that play, very close to first down yardage. Ford has had a good preseason. I would imagine he's on this roster. Yes?
I would think so. He really has. I mean, the things that he was displaying up in Latrobe, I mean, he really was raising a lot of eyebrows up there. And of course, his big contributions to this team is on the special teams, and that's something that really Danny Smith loves. And of course, when you understand your role, veteran players respect that.
Field position is one of those things a lot of people talk about, but you don't realize how important it is until you see it work against you. And there's a nice play there by Marcus Allen coming up from the safety spot, makes that play. And I know Butler wants more of these turnovers. We've seen them now. We saw a couple of strip sacks tonight. We've seen them throughout this preseason, plus an interception last week by Terrell Edmonds. Turning the field,
and
changing.
This is what you want me up front. This is what you want to see, because last year a lot of blitzes. Yes, the Steelers led the league in sacks, 56 of those, but they want to see just 4-man protections. Can you get after the quarterback and play covers behind it? They did a nice job this preseason by showing that they can get after the quarterback.
Allen throws and has Austin Duke, who gets up. Brian Allen gets him down. So what do you think of Aaron Rodgers? $134 million 4 years. I don't think there's any doubt how important he is to Green Bay.
Oh yeah, and then they know how important he is, because the games that he was not in there, their season went downhill
quickly.
So they're expecting big things up there in Green Bay. Saw enough of him in preseason game number 2. Was able to take a couple hits, get in and out. It was enough to get it done.
Oh, there's a nice hit on Bug Howard. The ball comes out, and the question is, did he have reception? And if so, who has it in the end zone? It could be another turnover created by the Steeler defense, because it looked like he had enough to make a football play. Farrington Huguenin is down there wrestling with Bug Howard for that football.
And right now, you have a lot of tugging going on. And
now they say Howard must have recovered it.
Ruling on the field is the ball was completed, fumbled, recovered by the offense in the end zone. It is a touchdown.
It's not how you draw it up, Charlie, but
it's not. But if Farrow comes out of the pile with the football, how do you give it to the Panthers? Do you see Farrow right there? But the ball just takes an awkward bounce. And at that point,
it looked like they both had it at that point. I don't know. Howard is lucky because he made the reception, but it was a catch, and so the hit comes in here. And it looks like it was Marcus Allen coming in, and he's been hitting everything.
As the ball comes out, as the play continues, Farrell has the ball right there, but as he goes to reset, the ball's taken away from him, and that's why the referees come in.
Huguenin's been at a lot of places in this preseason. He has been around the football. He's created some things, got his action on the sack game last week. That just didn't go his way, but he was right there to make that play. Howard, to his credit, never stopped, got up and got it back at the bottom of the pile. Graham Gano adds the point after. We've seen a lot of points in the preseason, which is in stark contrast to what we saw last year. A lot of 9-6 games. All right, Missy Matthews is down on the field with a man who the Steelers will be counting on heavily this year, number 23, Joe Hayden.
All right, Joe, you have the night off tonight, but you played in the third game. You've been here through the offseason now. Does it feel weird that you are officially a member of the Pittsburgh Steelers? You've been through everything you could possibly be through?
No, it finally feels normal. I mean, the first couple when I got here, you know, it just happened so fast. I wasn't really able. I was trying to find a house, trying to find a spot for my wife. So now I'm just feel way more settled in. I'm at home, feel a lot more comfortable doing the preseason and everything with the guys. So this feels like home now.
You guys have a new position coach this year. What are you taking away from what Coach Bradley's preaching to you guys?
I mean, he's preaching communication. You know, we know we have a lot of talent in our room. The one thing we got to do is make sure as long as we're on the same page, we're going to be fine. Not leaving anybody running wide open, you know, so as long as we got a man on the man and we're communicating the signals and checks, we'll be fine.
Every young guy in your room says you are one of the reasons why they feel like they're learning this defense and they're doing well. What do you take away from the young guys being a vet?
You know, I like to lead by example. I like to show them what I do. I like to I take my job very seriously. So when I'm in the meetings, when I'm taking notes and stuff like that, they can just tell that it's important to me. When I'm at a practice, doing all the drills, just taking it very seriously. So from them, I just want them to see that it's important to me. And we have guys like Morgan and guys like Artie that's just coming along very well. So just leading by example and showing them that this is the way to do it.
You went through it last year, Cleveland, week 1. Ready to do it again?
Oh, I'm super excited about it. You know, it's just the season's finally here. You know, this preseason is sweet. I hope everybody, you know, just putting their best effort forward, trying to make the squad. So after this is done, I can't wait to get ready for Cleveland.
All right, Joe, thanks so much for your time.
Thanks for having me.
All right, guys, that's Joe Hayden. Let's send it back upstairs to you.
All right, Missy, thanks very much. Big things expected from him. Brett Kiesel on Twitter. He's watching our game, and he had an interesting question. He says, wasn't the last time we had 4 quarterbacks on the roster 2010? With Leftwich, Batch, Dixon, and Ben. Do you remember?
I do remember that. Remember Kiesel, Dennis Dixon actually went on injured reserve after that Tennessee Titan game after week 2.
Okay, so he was there to start the season.
He was there to remember. He started against the Falcons in week number 1, injured in the first quarter of the Tennessee game. And I played the rest of the Titan game, started against the Bucks, and then we played Baltimore here to finish that off, and then Ben came back after the bye week. So there were 4 quarterbacks here. And then the following year in 2011, Byron Leftwich was the one that went on injured reserve.
So the Kiesel's, he's well in tune with this stuff. He remembers things going back. And he's very active on Twitter, too, which I like to see. Here's Franklin, who has a touchdown tonight, trying to get extra yardage, gets close to first down, 2 yards on that carry. By the way, a little shout out to...
I was going to say, remember in that Buccaneers game, remember that fumble with that interception that Kiesel had in that game.
Yes, he did.
And he took off to the races, man. That was a big play. We ended up winning that game 38-7, I think it was. 38-10.
Yeah, exactly. It was part of the mystique of the beard.
Absolutely.
You know, once you started making plays like that, the beard became an issue. I wonder if the beard ever slowed him down. There was so much beard there, you know. He could do that.
This year, the beard event is always great. He looks like a different man when he comes out of that.
Hey, he's raised a lot of money, and
yes,
congratulations to number 99. Another flag flies, not much at all there. I was going to say a shout out to Ross Cockrell. Remember him, former Steeler, because he had a terrible injury this year, a fractured tibia and fibula, and he's out right now. He's with his Carolina
Illegal
Panther
formation,
team.
Offense number 49. That penalty's declined, 4th down.
All right, so the Steelers will have to kick this one away. That's on Christian Scotland Williamson, who hasn't played a lot.
And this is a guy right here that, take a look at that guy and that face. He'll be on the Steelers practice squad this year. He's the London, forget the program that they have. They have
It's that international pathway.
There you go, international pathway.
We've seen a lot of guys. In fact, the Carolina Panthers have a guy on their roster with that. He played with the London Warriors back in 2014. F.A. Obada. Who is the guy from the Lions who not only was one of these guys, you talk about a great story. Is it Ansa, the defensive lineman he went from never playing football. He went
to participating in his program.
But not only that, he turned out to be the 5th overall pick in a draft for the Detroit Lions.
So I think when you look at this isn't the first time that we've seen this program. If you go back to 2005, we had a receiver by the name of Marvin Allen, who actually was here with that particular program, and he spent 3 seasons with the Steelers before he went back home.
Interesting stuff for sure.
You see Matthew Thomas running back off on the field.
Well, that's good to see. All right, there's a catch on the sideline by Bailey, who's been pretty active here. All right, let's talk about the Great Race. You could register for this big event September 30th, the Richard S. Caligiuri City of Pittsburgh Great Race, presented by Highmark Blue Cross Blue Shield. It's a great course, it's a great tradition, and it makes for a great race. For more information, visit rungreatrace.com. 41 years and still running. Pretty good stuff there. Time ticking away on this preseason. We'll begin on September the 9th in Cleveland. You'll see it on KDKA TV. We have plenty of programming in and around all of our games. And we also have the #1 Cochran Sports Showdown every Sunday night, where we have great debate on all the topics pertaining to Pittsburgh sports.
And I'm sure this topic here will be who's your 53.
And we'll have a various amount of opinions on that too.
False start, center, number 74, 5 yards, still first down.
And just talking through it earlier in the production meeting, Rich Walsh, he has a total different 53 than what you have, Bob.
Totally different. That's what I mean. You can make it any way you want to make it. The kid I'm thinking about is Ziggy Ansah. That's who it is from Detroit.
Okay, yes.
Remember him? He was he walked on. He went out for track. He was born in I think Ghana, played soccer. I mean, all of a sudden he tries out for football and he's that good. Becomes a 5th overall pick, or at least top 10. 8 sacks in his first. He made a Pro Bowl. I mean, what a story that is from someone who never played football really growing up.
Absolutely. But it's a great program. And it gives you actually an extra guy on your practice squad to be able to play with a little bit.
All right, so give me a name, a surprise name who may make the roster and people think not. I asked that question at the wrong time, at the 2-minute warning.
Gives me time to think about it, Bob.
There you go.
This is the 2-minute
so we reached
warning.
the 2-minute warning.
2 minutes.
The Steelers have had it their way from the beginning. They built a 14-0 lead, expanded it to now 39-24. We'll be back with the final 2 right after this.
Steelers preseason football presented by Xfinity. Change the way you experience TV with Xfinity X1. By Pepsi, the official soft drink of the Pittsburgh Steelers. And by the Pennsylvania Lottery. Play the Steelers fast play game from the Pennsylvania Lottery. Players must be 18 or older. Please play responsibly.
Steelers have been very responsible offensively here tonight for sure. They made some big plays in the defensive game, and Marcus Allen has thrown his weight around. Bayless with a 9-yard reception, but Allen in a desperate attempt to try to make a roster as a rookie 5th-round pick. That's to his advantage. He was a draft pick.
Solid plays here. I mean, this guy's playing lights out right now in the last 2 series.
All right, Keon Adams with some pressure, forcing Allen to roll to his right. He throws, and he has his receiver right along the sidelines. And that's a good catch by Austin Duke with Summers there defensively, 15 yards.
Summers does a nice job of breaking on his football. More importantly, keeping him in bounds, keeping that play clock going.
Total yardage now in favor of Carolina, but that's deceiving. A lot of it happened late off the fingertips of Bailey, who had one of those earlier as well. Hey, McGuire Memorial recognizes champions on and off the field, and you can be a champion by reaching out to God's most fragile individuals, helping them learn and grow, love and be loved, and achieve a fullness of life. Go to McGuireMemorialFoundation.org and click on Be a Champion Sister Thaddeus and all her people there do a wonderful job. So Allen tonight, who came in the second half, 25 of 33 for 250 yards and a touchdown. He's looked good, but a lot of that came after the game was pretty well decided as the Steelers built up a big lead in this game by 22 points. And here's Allen being forced out again. Rolling this time just throws it away. Good decision. Everybody pretty well covered down the field.
If you look at the throwaway there, I mean, that Dr. Bradley out there, Jim Bradley down there with the terrible catch. If you show that replay again, I mean, come on, Dr. Bradley, you have to do a better job. This is a point of the game where defensively you're just saying, oh, here we go on a replay here.
Oh, so now you're going to torture him with a replay. Okay.
Yeah, watch this. I mean, watch the attempt here. Dr. Bradley.
Oh,
come on, Doc.
He took his eyes off of it. He thought he had it. We're going to get Tom Bradley to work on his brother's skills there when it comes to making plays in the secondary. Another overthrow on the sidelines there. That one intended for Cam Sperinier. So now it's 4th down. And they'll go for this one. Why not? Last opportunity for Allen probably to be under center the rest of the year.
Right. And if you're Allen, you appreciate coach's decision to throw the football, because most games with the game out of hand like this, you're trying to run the football, get out of the stadium with no injuries and get ready for the regular season. But right now you want to see every single opportunity for each guy that's on the field.
It's a good way for the Steelers to end the preseason. It certainly makes the decision-making process a little bit more difficult for Mike Tomlin, Kevin Colbert and company. Got to get down to 53 by Saturday at 4. I trust some of these will come tomorrow. And that pass is incomplete, and that's how Carolina's offensive night will end, as the Steelers will come in and run out the final 49 seconds. And we're looking forward to a regular season of a lot of good pregame, postgame shows, all right here on your home for Steelers football, KDKA television.
Call this the best formation in football, victory formation. Hopefully the Steelers see this a lot as this year goes on, which we expect, both of us, Bob, that this should be an exciting season.
Really should be. And then the postseason. And what happens then? As the Steelers are really in a good position offensively, so many weapons. The question is, can the defense improve and come up with some plays in the turnover department? They have some athletes back there. They've improved their tackling, with the exception of the Green Bay game. I thought there were some bad angles in that game.
Right.
But overall, since then, they have come back and played better.
And that's it, especially on the defensive side of the ball. You have flipping of sides from T.J. Watt, Bud Dupree. It's going to be good to get T.J. back as they get ready for the Cleveland. So a lot of these guys, of course, the business side of it, will lose their job over the weekend. But for the ones who remain, they had a good 3-day weekend rest up, and as they prepare for the Browns on the road.
Ryan Shazier, motivational, inspirational figure, but also someone who's gotten involved in advice for a lot of young linebackers. He is really making his presence known here, even if he can't play. So the preseason comes to an end, and the Steelers finish it 3-1, just like Carolina. 39-24 your final score at Heinz Field. We'll recap when we come back right here on KDK TV.